thought Nova had only had one official reprimand. The rest of them are just telling off.
Column A, column B. Okay. I just heard somebody else, which might be, yes indeed, a Navis.
It's the captain! Yay! Congratulations, captain!
Yep, while you were away, we decided that Andrews thought the whole captain thing was too much trouble, and you're captain now.
Uh-oh.
Yep, no backsies.
Right. Okay. So, we're all off to go and do some legitimate training.
Legitimate mercantile operations.
All we want to do is steal your ale. We're not unreasonable. We're not going to steal your latinum.
Platinum's on the offering as well? Yeah, sure, we'll hit that.
Nice.
Thank you for a sec.
Okay, so that's most folks in, if not all of you. Everybody seems to be connected to Foundry. Everybody who wants it listening in to Sirenscape and getting something. I will take that as a solid maybe. Nevertheless, I will turn off the rumble and turn off the intro music and go to the intro video so that we will be back in a couple of moments, folks. Stay tuned. Hello folks, and welcome along to the continuing adventures of the USS Navis. I'm MJ the GM, and I will be your games master for this session. And with me are my loyal crew. They're all with me tonight.
Underneath the newly appointed Captain Vibers.
And our PsyOps officer, Commander Bertram.
Right. Counselor Bertram.
Yes, call me by my real title.
He's not PsyOps. You're not allowed to call him that. That gets you turned into Tannenbaum.
Yes, it's Psy Moss.
My boss.
Oh dear.
Also, Vibers, I put, as your captain now, I put your new character portrait into Discord.
What is your new character portrait? I have no idea what that is. What the
It's a
hell?
point. Hey,
It's a
no, but
symbiote.
never got put as captain.
Yeah. It's
Symbiote in a suit,
Vibers.
right, gotcha.
Yeah. It's Vibers that was made captain. Who said anything about Kano?
Right, gotcha. I was a bit slow on the draw there.
Multi-lifetime captain thing.
It's
You're
about
all
time.
doomed.
It's about time we put paid to this propaganda that chill symbiotes have to have a host.
A slug in a suit. Nice. What happens if somebody forgets the captain is in the chair and they sit on him accidentally?
I believe they're
Port
forced
Marshal.
into eternal servitude into the port and the cell. Wasn't that your orders, Captain?
I was going to say a murder charge, but fair enough.
Port in the cell might be worse.
Yeah.
You mean this isn't how you acquire new hosts randomly?
Ew.
I was going to say, slightly going the wrong kind of entry method there.
Moving swiftly on. Oof, I'm a bit uncomfortable on my seat now, just thinking of that. Anyway, folks are spending their acclaim, so I remember hearing Jan's dulcet tone saying that he was also spending a claim to up his rep. Is that right?
Yes.
It is. Alright then, so you're going from 3 to 4. So as such, we only need to spend 4 of your fiber claim. Nevertheless, who has got 4? Right, so we'll take the text from there, even though it says Andrews has got 5, because I was going to update that. That's right. So, you've now gone from default rock solid to a fine record with exceptional performance. And, excuse me, Bertram had upped his reputation to 5, and so had Andrews. So, let's take that 5 acclaim. You've already upped the reputation number. Let me just change the text. Your character notes. Oops, that's Thazanan. Have we done it on Andrews? Yes, we have. Excellent day. Edward's also upped his rep. Nova is in negotiations with her rep. For entirely different reasons. Does Vibers... Actually, Vibers is at 5 rep, so... whatever you want to go for, basically. But, of paramount importance... See what I did there? Anybody get that? No? I'll let that sink for a little bit, and we'll come back after it's fermented a little bit. Those who managed to spot that joke can feel free to pipe up in the chat.
I haven't seen that joke since the very, very beginning, right before the beginning credits of an episode.
Thank you, Gareth. Oh, that reminds me. Before I get on to the really, really big thing,
Yeah.
I learned something very interesting.
You said you wouldn't tell. I trusted you.
He said,
I am going to
interesting.
share...
Oh, that's right. You did say interesting. That's right. My bad.
Now, everybody knows... Not everybody knows that there was, in fact, a Star Trek movie about the Borg before Star Trek First Contact. Gareth and I have mentioned it once or twice. Star Trek Borg. Well, as it happens, some clever soul has gone to the trouble not only of remastering the video of Star Trek Borg, but also giving us a website through which we can actually replay basically the interactive story that is Star Trek Borg over YouTube by embedding it in this website. And Mr. Owen Davies, you are a god amongst men and women alike. Well done, sir. This is awesome. I have to plug this because it is absolutely phenomenal. Everybody now can engage in the magnificence that is John Delancey and everybody else involved in this. Because
John
let's face
Delancey
it, that's
and
the only
other
reason we watch it. Live long and prosper to you too, suitable substrate. But yes, Star Trek Borg Remastered is on this website right here. Visit it, play it. It is like 120 or more minutes of video. A lot of it you will replay over and over again as you make the mistakes and end up getting slapped by Q for dying. He'll just throw you right back where you were before until you get it right. So
90s FMV video game phase was a cruel but fair mistress.
well, this was the pinnacle, I have to say, of said
course.
time. So the fact that they've remastered the video and given us a means of doing it again, because quite frankly, I've got this behind me on the shelf. You can't quite see it. There's an Auspex in the way, but it's there on my shelf behind me, and I can't play it anymore because it's so old. This allows us to do it. So thank you, Mr. Owen Davies. You deserve all the credit in the world. Now, gushing over that done with, we have a very, very special event going on here. Mr. Mike has now been with us for 6 episodes. 6 full episodes, which means Lieutenant Ori has managed to accrue his first major stroke large milestone. This is it. You've hit the big time, my boy.
And is it coincidence that it happened just as you joined the Order of Moss?
I know. Benefits were immediate.
All is going according to
Good
plan.
thing.
So, yeah, for those who have forgotten, when it comes to milestones, the large stroke major milestones are the big ones, and they allow you to do the most. You can increase any attribute by 1, but you cannot increase it over 12. You can increase a discipline by 1, but you cannot increase it over 5. You can add an additional talent, you can add an additional focus, you can add an additional value, you can do all of that to one of the supporting characters, or, most importantly, you can choose one of the ship systems and increase it up to a maximum of 12, or you can choose one of the ship's disciplines and increase it to a maximum of 4. We've already given the Navis 1 extra talent above what it should be able to have, so we can't give it any more, but nevertheless, Mike, the world is your oyster now, at least within that regard. So, do you have any idea what you would like to spend your large milestone on?
Wow.
Is it anything of Ori that you would like to, increase, to get better at?
Probably
Is
his
it-
reason.
Probably his reason. Entirely reasonable. These pathetic attempts at humour will stop eventually, I'm sure, but until then, you guys are just going to have to bear with me.
Hey, some of us love puns.
I think you're just being unreasonable.
We're all like punishing ourselves.
Or is it fun reasonable? Huh. Even I didn't get that one. Anyway, yeah, Mike, you've got a lot of choices now. So basically the large stroke major milestone is the big one, is the one where you can actually up your stats without swapping them around, and add new talents and focuses and values and all sorts of stuff. So you don't have to choose now, but you have hit that, well, milestone. 6 episodes.
Like reason from 11 to 12.
Hit reason from 11 to 12. Okay, so
Yeah.
I will make that note on your character notes. You've used your first milestone. Yeah, nice.
And
You can change them.
Can you use a claim to swap out foci?
No, you cannot.
No.
What you
You
can
can
use
buy
a claim
talent?
for is to give yourself another trait if you wanted to.
Okay.
But you were swapping reason 11 for reason 12. Well, not swapping. You were adding 1 to reason, so you've got reason 12 now. Okay, done. His brain is even more powerful.
So he could he could acquire like another Delta trait or another telepathic type trait or something, or
That would be more in the realm of talents, which you could still get if you didn't want to. If you wanted to, instead of changing your reason from 11 to 12, you could choose a new talent, one of
No, I was
which
just
could very
thinking
well
about
be
that.
telepath.
I
But
was just thinking about the claim.
okay. Focusing on the acclaim. Well, what can you do for acclaim? You can increase your reputation, which you have. You've only got reputation 3 currently. You could increase it to 4, so that other folks you meet from Starfleet will treat you accordingly as somebody who has got a reputation of 4. You could give yourself a trait, although what it could be, I don't know. Klingon love machine at this rate.
Klingon love machine. What?
He seems to be making the rounds amongst the Klingon female crew on Narendra Station, so,
I was thinking like persuasion expert, but then that sounds slightly dodgy.
That's pretty good.
Persuasive.
He's got a-
Yeah, that's a nice
persuasive might be a trait. There you go. Because it can. A trait is something that's like a one-word descriptor, but it can work both for and against. So,
although
something.
he's a terrible presence.
His presence isn't terrible, because the base is 7, and 9 isn't that bad. But, if you did give yourself the trait Persuasive for, I forget how much, I think it's 2. Let's have a look. Alternative Starfleet reputation. What can you buy with a claim? Gain the favour, increase your reputation, commend another, buy some awards. Bless you. Create an additional trait which reflects your achievements, recognition, or special status for 3. So basically you can spend 3 to give yourself a trait. What's elevation? Oh, it's for battlefield commission for non-commissioned officers. Right, okay, non-coms. So, I mean, yeah. For acclaim, you could add another medal or an award. You could give yourself a trait. You could up your reputation.
Could I do Legion of Honor again? I've noticed
You
some
can
people-
absolutely do Legion of Honor again.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
Alrighty. We will do that. So we'll just put a ×2 next to this. Everybody's favourite award.
Yeah,
The one that's the most useful. Alright. Groovy.
thank you.
Spectacular. Yes?
Where's the unicorn?
Something about unicorns. Hang on. Second medal of gallantry.
Discord.
Oh, this is... Okay. So Nova is doing stuff. Let's have a look. A second medal of gallantry. Have you already added that then, Sean?
Marked
Awesome.
it as times 2.
Cool. All the manuals mysteriously speak. Swap your value from honest to we've done the impossible. Sure have. And that makes us mighty. Vipers must spend 2 of my leftover large to
I've
give
got
Stevenson a tutor
3
talent.
leftover large. One I'd like to take is keeping drunken transporter incidents as a permanent buff rather than a one-off for the last session. As in, that's a possible focus. And the other one is I'd quite like to give Stevens and Latude procedural compliance as a result of their guidance of how to cope as chief engineer if it all goes to hell and you have to do the job.
Okay, alright, because this is interesting, because normally supporting characters can only have a maximum of 4 talents, but by giving her this talent yourself from your own large milestone, you are giving her the ability to gain even more power. So it was procedural compliance, right?
Because Bravo's already got... Well, Bravo's his own thing at this point. You don't tell the chief engineer how to do his job properly. That gets into problems.
And procedural compliance goes also to Latude. Okay. So, again, talent was gifted, not added. Through the traditional means. Cool. Have you noted on your character notes that you have spent those? Or do you want me to do it? Doing it now, okay. Wowza, okay. Lots and lots of change. So, is that everybody that wanted to use their momentum and acclaim done, or are there any more? I will take that as there are no more. Alright, awesome sauce. We got quite a lot done there. And speaking of getting quite a lot done, unlike the gap between the previous 2 episodes, which we recently finished, you have actually had a week between the end of the last episode and the beginning of this one of in-game time, so we can actually go back to scientific projects. We can even start new ones. The main thing, well, of course, the main thing that's been going on for the Navis crew during that week is that all the dents and the damage that have been inflicted on the Navis have been getting hammered out. So Navis has been getting some much needed TLC after what it went through, entering and exiting the Tilikaal prison realm. So it's been mostly shore leave for most of you for the week, although. It seems Starfleet has decided that the 20th Fleet, or at least the 3 ships of the 20th Fleet who are investigating and exploring the Shackleton Expanse, are due for a bit of an upgrade. So during the week that you have been coordinating with the dockmaster and whatever for needed repairs to the Navis, they've used the excuse to start introducing new sensor suite computational packages in order to try and see if they can use them to combat the some of the interference that you guys regularly encounter when you go into the Shackleton Expanse. So Starfleet have used this as an excuse to try and put a bit of an upgrade in the software for the sensors. So that's what's been going on in the meantime. So even though technically you haven't been going out on any missions and the ship has been docked in Narendra Station, it's not all been a week off. You do have to keep, especially those in science and engineering, have to keep reporting back to the ship because you need to coordinate the installation of this new software. So this does give time for folks to do their special science experiments. So anybody who wants to continue with their science can do so.
Are we still? I can't remember. Are we still working on something with Vibers at the moment?
There's still the holographic torpedo, and there's also the project that Bertram was going under, using airborne silicates to bond with gases to make a breathable atmosphere.
Yeah, I was trying to adapt using the bioengineered terraforming biotechnology we found a while ago. Try and actually make a silicatic acid form of that, so that I can then use this as a foundation for the next stage of the project. Would be to create a version of the template plant, could essentially use it to convert non-breathable and toxic and otherwise unfriendly atmospheres to things like oxygen and the stuff that someone needs to essentially be able to exist in said atmosphere without technology.
So a plant-based EVA suit?
Essentially, yeah.
Pretty soon, the crew of the Navis won't be wearing any replicated garments anymore to go on missions. They'll just step into the Arboretum and come out covered in plants that'll do the job for them.
Well, given the on more than one occasion we gone into an area that either has an actual phenomenon that messes with technology, this is Bertram's way of coming up with countermeasures.
And it's all very cool. So, who wants to go first? The hologram torpedo or the plant-based EVA suit? Basically, Mossman, yes.
I think that answers your question, though.
Okay.
So I'll go second.
According to my notes, I previously racked up 4 successes with Ori's help using xenobiology.
Correct. If you want to continue down that road, then we can do that.
Indeed. Ori, are you still up for helping?
Mike, can you hear us?
And he died.
Nope, he's just on mute, that's all.
Sorry, I was talking. Yes, yes, I can help. I would love to help.
Excellent.
Excellent. That's what we like to hear.
His silence was definitely he doesn't want to help.
Alright, so this is...
Overlords.
You want to help the plant overlords? Absolutely you do. So this is going to be reason and medicine for Ori and Bertram, because we are using xenobiology in order to accomplish this. So, yeah, go for it, my boys. If you want to bring in any other assistants, that's fine, but your 2 usual assistants don't really have the foci for this kind of thing.
I'll throw this in.
Jenny.
Starcross! Any die that rolls equal to or less than twice the discipline score scores 2 successes.
Come on,
Nice.
bring Jenny in. It's been a while since we've had some conflict.
It's been a while since there's been sexual tension in the air, yes.
I've done my best.
Well, well, very quick, Mike, thanks.
As we've established, Bertrand doesn't really get this whole thing. No, he's very much into the plant wave. style of thing. Okay, so
What, smelling good and then attracting bees.
I personally think the human race would get a lot more done if we just basically
We're covered in
used
bees.
spores to reproduce. That way we wouldn't get so distracted all the time.
Spores. Spores are the way forwards.
Yep.
You should know you've got an arboretum full of the stuff. 3 successes.
3 successes.
If Ori can roll us 1 dice with reason and medicine, I don't think you've got any.
No,
No, not really. Nothing genetics-wise. So just have to go with your talent. That
You do
new
have your
improved
recently
brain.
boosted reason.
Okay. Ori's still learning.
Ah.
He's getting used to the extra space that his brain is now taking up with that increased reason.
Yes.
No, alright. That's chloroform, not chlorophyll.
Oh!
No wonder his dates go wrong.
I'll prove it. Edwards, can you sniff this test tube for a second? Tell us what it smells like.
Does
Sorry,
this
sorry,
smell like
helping you,
chloroform to you?
Commander.
Sorry, he's been stuck in a chief engineer training course for the last week.
Alright, so that was only 3 successes, so that is some way down the road. Still locking in the models, putting in the data.
Yep.
I mean, obviously you're working with trying to bioengineer different types of alien plants, so you're looking at this point, it's mostly study of said alien botany in order to see if you can find any derivations and variations that suit the model that you're looking to apply. So far so good. Slow progress, but these things often go that way. Alright then. The hologrammatic torpedo. We were currently looking at security protocols as the way forwards, so we'd already tried holographics and torpedoes, and we're now looking at security protocols, so all of it helping to combine to create the desired outcome. But for now, we are definitely on the security protocols track, so anybody that you want to bring in to assist, like Thazanan, or the captain, or indeed, as it turns out, Claude has now got Starfleet's security protocols. So that might be a bit limiting, Starfleet. It's just Starfleet security protocols, whereas Thazanan has got security protocols in general, so...
Working on a torpedo without including our helmsman sounds like a bad plan. Working on a torpedo without including our tactical officer sounds like a bad plan. But our captain is also one of the best tactical people we've got on board. So, Captain, are you free to help on this one? And Commander, are you free?
Yes.
Basically asking Andrews and Thazanan, so cool.
Yeah,
Have we-
fine, that's cooler, Bertram.
Have we have we lost a Webby for the time being?
No, I'm back.
No, you're here. Okay, cool. Right. So this is going to be, well, it's going to be pretty much at this point reason and security for the most part. Although a case can be made in Vibers' case. Oh no, Vibers has actually got a really high security.
Vipers took some training when he got told he's now in the command track.
So actually, Vipers can contribute security-wise to this. So
I misheard that. I swear you said you took training when you discovered you were a command threat.
column A,
Got him
column
through to the
B.
captain.
Tomato.
Might need to make a mould of each crew member's body to grow the plants on for custom fit. Well, absolutely. But that will then mean that you've got plants bearing the likeness of several crew members. This could be what Bertram was up to all along. You can then replace the crew with his plant duplicates, just by painting the leaves a different colour.
That reminds me literally of the plot of a Goosebumps book.
Please don't encourage him suitable substrate, it only makes it worse.
Oh, what was it? Goosebumps. It's something with plants in a basement.
Sounds like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, or indeed, it wasn't quite the Triffids, was it?
Day of the Triffids.
Yeah, I was going to say Day of the Triffids. Which
Stay
Leonard
out of the
Nimoy was
basement,
in.
That's why it was called.
Beg your pardon?
Story, the Goosebumps story I'm thinking of, Stay Out of the Basement. Father grows himself a whole plant clone that then grows other plant clones.
Neato. In any case, we are doing, so I think Thazanan and Andrews are rolling 1 dice with Reason and Security, and Vipers is rolling 2 dice with Reason and Security, adding your focuses for security protocols. Thazanan is bored. The captain's a lot more engaged. I don't know, Kaval might have been...
No, I don't have any focus that applies. Drunken Transporter instance doesn't fit this one.
Absolutely not. But that was some very good successes there. So 4 overall. 4 overall, which means we are about 2/3 of the way through this particular avenue of investigation. So you've got all the data, now it's time to put them into the models and run the simulations. Looking good. First we need a base on which an organism lives to serve the more suitable substrate, you might say. Oh, very
This is
quick.
what happens when I'm encouraged.
See what you've done, suitable substrate? You know what you did.
Oh god.
Ah, dearie me. Okay, no, so that's good. Good progress was made there on the holographic torpedo, so all very interesting stuff in the week that you have been basically halfway between doing your science projects on the side, but mostly doing the boring stuff of, especially for those in the command track, of coordinating all these computer techs who are going around the bridge and the other sensor stations and the science labs and whatnot, installing the new software.
No engineering team from this station. You can't go and play with the deflector dish. I've got a medical exemption stopping you.
Nevertheless. Okay then, so that seems to be all. Are we done, or has anybody got a science project in mind that they would like to maybe start? I will take the silence as a no, not really, Matt. Okay. Cool beans. Alright then, so like I said, it's been a week since the end of last episode, and so we are a week later. The bangs and dents have been roughed out, and buffed out, and dear God, I'm just seeing some of the things in Discord. Sorry, guys. So I am going to throw us over to our captain. Maybe if you could read that, please.
Give me a sec.
Okay. I might ask for you to be a little closer to your microphone.
Oh, it's my microphone playing up again. Hang on.
Well, you're just a teeny bit quiet, that's all.
That better?
That's better.
Captain's log, stardate 50687.5. We've resupplied the ship and spent a week tweaking our sensor suites for a more efficient and effective use while exploring the Shackleton Expanse. Starfleet Command wasted little time in giving us the means to test these refined systems. We've been tasked with shepherding a supply convoy to Array 3-5, one of the joint Federation Klingon research posts deep within the Expanse.
Okay then, so essentially, you have been given the task of escorting a convoy. This is a bit of a menial job, but it is the best way to test your new sensor suite out. So, the good news is that you actually have someone along for the ride as well. So I'm just going to bring you into space as we find it. Soon as it sends the transmission to you guys to start shepherding you into the map, if it indeed does that. Is everybody still on deck 1, or are you actually being transported to another map.
Loading.
Yeah, because I've asked it to activate, and yet nothing appears to be happening.
98%.
Yeah, seems to be stuck at 97%.
Yeah, that doesn't bode well. Let me just confirm that I haven't lost connection. Nope. So everything seems to be becoming a bit crazy. I'm still not seeing anybody loading in. Okay, I am going to log out and log back in again and see if that's will improve anything. On my end, at the very least. Ooh. But in any case, you've got a convoy of about 6 transport ships, basic bulk freighters, but along for the ride as well is the Mapui. So Captain Tilikaal and his crew are also joining in the convoy, since it is a joint Federation Klingon venture, and basically the Klingons have had the same upgrade to their sensor suite, so they want to test it out on one of their ships as well. Captain Tilikaal volunteered, and so the Mapui and its crew are coming along for the ride. Loading. Apologies for the wait, folks, but there might be an issue on our servers. I hope that's not the case, but we will see. Because Star Trek doesn't always take this long.
Message from the captain. It's Talonman's fault.
That woman's reach. You just cannot underestimate it.
You have to try and send us via the starboard nacelle.
Anyway to travel.
Well, this might be a short session. If I can't get this to work. Yeah, no, this was the easiest thing you've ever done. You tested the new navigation, you tested the new sensors, they appear to work fine, and you went back and everything's great. So that was the episode. Thank you guys for playing. That was well worth the $10.
I like the concept that there's sort of like 2 years between episodes of Star Trek things where they just do bog standard, normal, boring mapping missions. You got like Picard or whatever going, God, I'm bored of yet another M-class planet with no significant life on it. Wish something like a spatial anomaly that blows up half the ship would happen.
What do you mean every red shirt came back?
Have you ever read the book Red Shirt?
I'm assuming it's basically just a little thing saying photon torpedoes fell, everybody died.
Not quite. Everything's fine until these TV cameras show up, and then suddenly the command staff lose their entire minds.
It's like the captain, first officer, and doctor are going down to this unexplored planet, and they want a red shirt with them. They say everything will be fine. That's the same thing they said on the last 16 missions.
It's amazing how everyone else has disappeared.
Yeah.
Well,
That's why whenever anyone it's why they've renamed reprimands as red shirt duty.
So I'm in, Gareth's in, Alex is in, Davis is not yet in, neither is Mike, Sean is, Webby appears to be, no sign of Yan.
I'm on through the nebula, but I have a white screen and game paused.
Okay.
I'm here.
Downloading world data.
Okay, it's going to be one of those nights. Goodie. Nevertheless, you're entering into an area of... actually, I better get the bridge ambience up because it's business sounds. Bum, bum, bum. Still waiting
Loading
for folks to come.
01 through the nebula. 86%.
86, good
You've
lordy.
been lost in the nebula. Sorry.
Yeah. I was hoping the moss would pull me out, but no.
The moss can never save you.
Only the moss can save us now, I think, at this point.
Let me get my Guyver suit ready.
So, yeah, you're escorting essentially 6 bulk freighters made in the style of the Talarian freighters. You've seen their like before. So, you guys are not proceeding at maximum warp. You are proceeding at what you could comfortably call leisure levels of warp. Because it's you need to maintain your distance to the...
We're in the mood leisure cruise.
So, you enter into an area of the Expanse where, let's play the old-fashioned way, theatre of the mind. Well, yeah, that was where I was going to be going next, but we'll see how we do. We will see how we do.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on this map so far.
Yeah. So things are
missing
going rather
2.
slowly, but we'll deal with that as we deal with it. So, you are entering through an area of the Expanse that is known to be a little turbulent, less for its gravimetric disturbances, more for its ionization effects and plasma storms and discharges and that kind of thing. So, even though this convoy is run-of-the-mill, it is a good opportunity to start testing things. So, we're going to also note that when I asked it to activate bridge ambience, nothing happened. As I take us back to the bridge and hope that we all get there. Nevertheless, this has been an easy mission thus far, and there has been only the odd flicker now and then of screens, which, when you double check the system that did issue a brief flicker, you can confirm that this was due to the presence of electromagnetic interference caused by basically interference in the area. Nothing else untoward has happened, just a little flicker of a LCARS display in front of you every now and again. The Klingons have invited basically the command staff over for like the second time running during this rather long cruise that you are enduring at the moment, because apparently Captain Akul and the rest of the Mapui command staff are themselves a little bored and are looking for another excuse to have basically food and drink and raucous conversation. Whether or not you want to take them up on the offer is entirely up to you.
Yes.
An offer to catch up, have a good natter, and get drunk with our second favourite captain.
Nice recovery.
Sounds like a good plan. Especially after that faux pas.
Yeah.
Or he has a whole new set of people to use him as a chew toy.
So, I mean, unless the captain's got any particular problem with some members of the crew migrating over to the Mapui for part of the journey. I hear no complaint. Unless, of course, that's Webby having gone elsewhere.
On that note, Vibers will stay on the ship. It kind of doesn't look good for the first officer to go and say hello and get drunk somewhere else.
No, that's for the captain to do.
Okay, so the sensors indicate that there is a plasma cloud coming up just ahead, so a small amount of course correction is going to be needed for the convoy as a whole to avoid this disruptive part of the journey. So, yeah, this will be well within your Helm officer's capability. So it's entirely up to you if you want to do it just to grab some extra just to grab some starting momentum, or if you want to just go along under the knowledge that you have the skill necessary. So this is basically to Jan and Fazanan.
I thought you produce your own.
I'm a well of momentum.
Indeed.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Do we need some momentum?
At the moment, nothing much is going on.
Yeah, you never know.
Okay.
Might as well.
So this is assuming we can actually access the character sheets at all, so let's see what happens.
Alrighty.
So, Gareth, if we can once more ask you to be the ship. I have lost a whole load of artwork here.
Yeah, it's weird. On mine, there's no background, and several of the icons are the default icons.
Yes.
Yeah, mine's stuck on grey.
Force refresh.
Okay. What do you want me to roll for the ship before I refresh?
I've just refreshed, so I can't remember. It was just navigation, so it's going to be sensors and con, more than likely. And
Okay.
for Fazanan, of course, it's going to be control and con. Difficulty 0.
Well, 1 success from the ship.
Okay.
Force field is at full strength.
Assuming Jan manages to get to his character sheet.
I rolled.
He's rolled. I can see it.
What did he? I can't see the results yet, so someone's going to have to tell me.
One
Success.
1 success. That's 2 overall. So there we go. 2 into the momentum pool. Now, as Kavalian puts the commands for the alteration of the course, you get a momentary lag in the computer processing speed of the command. So basically, what we're getting here. It's art imitating life. So as soon as Fazanan inputs the new heading command, there's like a delay, and Kaval's like, hello, gives the helm panel a bit of a nudge, and then the command eventually goes through.
I'll flag that for engineering to look at.
Yes.
Oh, engineering and ops.
Meanwhile, over on sensors, Lieutenant Ori is recording the kind of data you expect. The guys who helped you install the new software asked you to run regular checks of sensor operations and to regularly use the sensors as often as possible to scan these kind of anomalies in order to see if the new upgrades actually work. So this could either be another inferred success, or if you guys want to generate just a bit more momentum, you could do so again. Up to you.
You're so desperate for us. I'm wondering if that's a warning.
Well, it's the usual thing at this point. I mean, I know for certain that you guys have got the skill to do it, but from experience, some folks like to use this opportunity to start generating momentum early. So I leave it entirely up to you to decide if you want to just leave it and assume success, or if you want to actually try generating momentum and, of course, risk complications and stuff like that. So
Let's risk complications. Yay!
okay. I am getting nothing. This is not good.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing with it
I'm
loading?
Loading up slowly.
Yeah, as am I. I have the nasty feeling that... Sorry, go on, Jan.
After my previous difficulty, I switched to potato instead of expert potato, whatever the other choice was. I think that helped.
Well, my level of potato has already been downgraded, but it's more to do with connection. Here we go. We got there eventually. I think they might be having problems on their servers, the guys who host this for us, so we will see. But we got stuff back now. I finally got a connection back. Woohoo! I can see cursors moving and everything. I've got images. I've got icons. Aha!
I've just got closed down. I'm reopening. There's a message now on the site. We're aware of major issues impacting user access to their asset libraries. We're currently working to resolve the issue and hope to have an update soon. So, yeah, I think they are having issues.
All right, I leave this up to you then, folks. Do you want to keep going in spite of these interruptions and slowdowns, or do you want to maybe leave it for and cut this short and leave it for next week?
I'm okay with trying to bear it.
Try and bear it for the next 10 minutes and see how we do?
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm the same. I'm
Okay.
happy
Give
to-
them a bit longer.
Give it a bit longer. Cool. Because it doesn't
That's
seem
upper
to be a
lip and all that.
performance. What was that, sorry, Jan?
Stiff upper lip and all that.
Indeed.
Ah, excellent. He's joining. He's realizing where his loyalties lie.
I do like gin and tonic.
Rejoin the Empire.
I like Klingon women.
I like big
I
butts,
mean-
and I cannot lie.
Yes, right.
Well, have I got a gin for you? Can I consider you an Icelandic Olafsson gin? It's brewed using pure Icelandic ingredients such as Arctic thyme, juniper, and of course, Icelandic moss.
Mmm. Moss.
Have a look at that.
Tempting. Either way, for the sensor
Sounds
operation,
complete.
we can have Ori use control and science, and if we can get... Let's go with...
I like that, Navis.
Now I have to look. Aha. There's shenanigans going on in Discord, in case you were wondering, as per usual. What was I saying? So, somebody else can be the ship this time. Sean, if you could be the ship for me. I think we'll be wanting sensors and science from the ship. And control and science from Ori, please.
Can you use computers as a foci?
Absolutely.
Focus?
5 successes, good lordy lorks. Now you've got a full momentum pool. Yikes, that's shot up. Alright then. Still have not got...
These new updated sensors.
Well, yeah, quite. Oh, there we go, we got rumble. So, yes, kicking things into operation, Ori does as was asked and runs a full sensor sweep of the ion cloud as you start moving past it. For a brief moment in time, you got a sensor flicker that seemed to suggest a ship? No, wait, not a ship. An asteroid. No, not an asteroid. Oh. A gravitic anomaly.
You see, if we were at war, this would be a good place for an ambush.
Nevertheless,
Okay,
this-
based on that comment, is the captain on the bridge at the moment?
I don't see a reason for her not to be, unless... I assume so, unless otherwise told.
Maybe he's currently BRB.
Okay. In that case, the first
captain's
officer's
in
up.
their ready room. Bring us to yellow alert. Bring the shields up if you're not sure,
Shields up.
Alright.
because
So,
we are on the bridge of war, or actually at war with the Dominion. Not
Is the Shackleton
empty.
actually near an active theatre?
not really, no. If you
No,
think about
but
it...
there've been rumours about very deep strikes into the core of the Federation.
That's a good point. Yes, very true. Was not. Yeah, you've passed the point where the diplomatic meeting between the Federation and the Romulans was bombed by the Dominion. That was some time ago now. So, and what with the news that you guys recently learned that there might be folks who have been maybe influenced by Tilikaal psychos. That's not...
That's a very good point, actually. We know we are potentially a threat.
Yeah, so that's not done anything to assuage people's paranoia. As a result, shields up. Lieutenant Hessian at this point says that he's getting a hail from the lead ship in the convoy and the Mapui asking why we've suddenly raised shields.
Reply back with our sensor report.
Alright
So it's
looks.
just a precaution.
Yeah, Alright looks at these sensors again and doesn't detect any sign of this anomaly. So it could have been a sensor glitch. Maybe bugs in this gremlins in the system, as it were, from this new software.
So run a diagnostic.
Okay, running a diagnostic. Which means it's Ensign Kirst's time to shine, as she can now use her focus of ship systems investigation and audit. Basically, she's the diagnostician. Nevertheless, the Mapui... What was that? Sorry, Mike?
Nothing, I was talking to Mac.
Okay, cool. So, the Mapui acknowledges the just in case and raises its own shields, and as do the various freighters. So, as you can imagine, the freighters don't have that much in the way of shields, but they've got a semi-decent amount. If you want a comparison, you guys are in a scale 5 ship. The freighters are scale 3. So
Didn't we have issues with our computer systems before?
you
Like
have
sabotage.
yes. It wasn't sabotage as such the last time you had issues with your computers. It was because the captain's your previous captain, Captain Ducasse, had loaded data into the computer that was to be released at a certain specific moment in time of her choosing. That showed the... I think if I remember correctly, it gave each of you like a puzzle that only you could solve, your individual characters could solve, and that unlocked the video that showed exactly what Admiral Stoker did to your previous captain when she assaulted her. So that allowed you to basically lock up Admiral Stoker. It gave you the proof you needed that she was wacko. Or was she? So that was the only other time I can think of that you did have actual problems with the main computer. Previous to this, I could be wrong, of course. There was Tannenbaum when she tried to actively infiltrate the ship, yes. But that was when someone was actively working to mask their signature. Okay, so the sensor data has been forwarded on to the other ships, and as such, shields have been raised. What was that, sorry, Alex?
I think Webby's back.
Okay, cool. Yep. The engineering crew that Thazanan put on the computer lag have come back saying that there are temporary power fluctuations going on as the new system modifications settle in. So it could be due to that. They are running diagnostics.
Why do we always have system failures when we have upgrades?
Microsoft.
The same reason the ship starts to look more and more sovereign every time we let them do a refit.
Making it a sovereign class.
So they're trying to change you, is what you're saying. They want to make you more like the Enterprise.
While you were sorting out logs and that, I put us to yellow alert while we got sensor glitches, because we can't trust the sensors, we need at least one hit on the shield.
Understood.
I
haven't got a ready room up here. I only got names of where the rooms are anymore. It's just a door.
Yeah, so if I remember the layout of an Akira class, the captain's ready room, if I remember, is off of the bottom right side here, because the top two move to corridors. I think the leftmost goes to the mess hall. This one I think goes to general turbo lift. But because you are on an Akira class, the two doors at the top are always guarded. And at times like Yellow Alert, you have got security officers now with a weapon in hand outside of the doors to the bridge and the other sensitive areas of the ship. So, moving on. The ships move on for a little bit, and Lieutenant Keshen does note that the Mapui is sending an update note saying that they themselves are getting a couple of glitches in their system here and there, so their engineers are being put on it. Captain Akul mentions something about people putting untested software on his computer, and he may have to have very stern words with them. So I'd hate to be those technicians when you get back to Narendra Station.
Nah, he's a pussycat, really. Scratching behind the ears, he'll be your best friend for life.
And okay, that is when we get a computer alert on both sensors and tactical and helm. Indicates that something just happened on the Mapui and one of the convoy ships, and they have just dropped out of warp. Sensors indicated that something on the Mapui and the lead convoy ship just exploded, and it's forced them out of warp.
I think let's drop out of warp, shall we?
Ready. Oop! I forgot about that medal, Sean. Stop Akul exploding.
Seems perfect.
So yes, the message is sent to the convoy as well that we're unaffected by whatever happened, to slow down and to basically follow the Navis as she comes about and tries to find the two stricken ships, the Mapui and the lead convoy vessel. So, as you guys start bringing your ship around to bring it closer to the Mapui for a better examination via sensors as to what is going on, I'm going to ask you all to give me the Star Trek shake. As all of a sudden your own ship rocks from something going on. There we go, thank you. As the ship does rock from something going on within it, but you get a report that a sudden electromagnetic pulse from outside surged through the ship, which popped a few ODN conduits and temporarily seems to have knocked out secondary power systems. As such, the Navis has lost a point of power. You have also suffered a slight overload on two of your shield emitters from the electromagnetic surge. So,
are you actually going to install fuses, or do I have to order you to do so?
You know how hard it is to install a fuse on a plasma power system?
Blah, blah, blah. Excuses, excuses.
We have fuses. They melt in normal usage.
Blah, blah, blah. Excuses, excuses.
okay, so, Lieutenant Keshen, your comms officer, is reporting that there are no injuries or casualties reported, just damage to a couple of ruptured ODN relays down on deck 14. The Mapui is contacting you.
On screen, Lieutenant.
view screen on. Let's bring in Captain Tilikaal.
What are you staring at?
Have you not seen Nova's message in the...
Oh, right.
Captain, it seems that we suffered some kind of minor overload in one of our systems that knocked us out of warp after it destabilized our core slightly. We may require some assistance if we are to get ourselves going again. With all due haste, not that I doubt the capabilities of my chief engineer to get us out of this situation. Nevertheless, the lead convoy vessel has also reported a similar electromagnetic overload of some of their power systems. They would appreciate some assistance as well. Looks like these new sensor packages didn't do their job.
Weirdly, we're also suffering from power surges.
Well, it seems your instinct to go to yellow alert may not have been entirely unfounded. Even if this is just a software glitch, we've now put ourselves in a rather uncomfortable place to be. This nebula seems to be generating an awful lot of EM interference. As such, we're going to have to be very careful how we proceed. My operations officer tells me that apparently we hit some kind of EM pocket. And because the lead convoy vessel was following us, they hit the same one and it disabled them. Looks like you may have glanced across one when you arrived to pick us up. So we're going to have to proceed a lot more carefully.
That would explain our burnt-out shield emitters.
Ah. Well, damn these new upgrades. The ship was working fine until those stupid technicians started installing new software on my perfectly good ship. There's going to be more than words, I tell you.
They owe us a good few bottles of blood, wine, and ale when we get back.
Indeed.
I'm sure you have a drinking problem, Commander.
There's no such thing as a drinking problem, Captain. There's only a drinking solution. Nevertheless, we would appreciate any and all assistance you would care to send our way to help us repair our slightly fried systems over here. Everything else seems to be in order, it's just we need a bit of help with our warp drive.
Wow, I know one of my crew who would be an exceptional addition to your crew to help get that going.
Excellent.
Alright, shout out.
I heard that!
Me!
It echoed across the distance. I heard it muttered on the wind. The call of Kalis said, "Alright." I shall take that as an omen. Very well. I shall have to make sure to hide all my female crew members. Again.
I was more thinking Lieutenant Nova, but Aurai's enthusiasm seems to be...
If we were going to get any work done over here, I'm going to have to isolate my female crew.
Not just females.
Maybe not just the females, eh? That reminds me. Put the targ away! Put it in the... Not the galley, you fool! Put it in one of the safe storage medias so we can't get out. Yes, your targ. Who's the only person here with it? Never mind. We appreciate any and all assistance you could give us, Captain. We'll be ready to receive your parties as soon as you're able. A call out.
Alright, Commander, assign 2 away teams, 1 to the Akul, 1 to the lead transport ship.
Okay, Lieutenant Nova, I think this is a really good opportunity for you to lead an away team.
Even suitable substrates laughing.
Excuse me and hello, see you later.
Because it's to a person whose ship you a person you respect, and it's high time you've led a mission. So pick whoever else you need.
This is backing
I'd
out the
recommend
room.
you take at least an engineer or two with you.
I'll take hello.
I suggest you also take another crew member with you as well, Lieutenant.
You want at least
side-eyeing vibers on this whole conversation.
Edward.
Edwards may have just evacuated the bridge.
Lieutenant, make sure you bring at least one security officer and a team of 4 total. Otherwise, you're not allowed past transport the room.
So what was Nova?
Right.
Identify the organization that the character worked with during the mission. Once per mission, when attempting a social task involving an organization, they may reduce the difficulty of a persuade by okay. As if you needed to be able to persuade a Cool and the crew of the Mapui. Well, it depends on what you're trying to persuade them to do, but okay. Alright, so we've got Nova and Hello going over to the Mapui. It seems Edwards is being potentially tasked with going over
it's
too.
up to Edwards if he's going on that team or Vibus' team.
He's being ordered. You did order.
If you're making Nova choose, it's drone 1, drone 2, drone 3.
You pick who you bring in.
Right, so who's going? Final word.
Who else is going on Team Nova?
Right, if Vibers isn't deciding, then
No,
Andrews would
Vibus
recommend
is
that
sorting out the
Stephen...
second team. It's just this is Nova's chance to actually run a team with very little that could go horribly wrong.
Yeah, you say that.
Oh,
Assumptions.
Take Ori. Ori's willing to go.
Yeah, Andrews would recommend that Stevens goes as well then.
Okay.
So then at least, yeah, there's one sane person out of the group, because he... Ori and Nova.
Hey, we're out of the box thinkers.
Well, you're out of the box, certainly.
I mean, you have to open the boxes. It gets a wee bit heavy in there every now and again with you, alright?
Let's move you guys just to one side so we can represent you being off ship for the moment. Who is the next best officer? I think it's Latude, isn't it, that takes over? Or is it Bravo from Security that takes over Ops?
Latude is the... We worked this out, Latude's actually the best person for Ops, but... Latude... I've never seen Latude for ages, yeah!
You got injured, didn't he?
Yeah, he did get injured.
Yeah, he was badly injured last time, so...
You know what? Mr. Monoko, to the bridge.
Oh god. He's gonna wonder how the hell he's got his commission at this rate.
Okay.
Alright then.
Right, we need a team for the other ship.
Actually, no, Kirst was a decent one for Ops, didn't she?
Yeah, there's that.
Kirst is running science, isn't she?
No, that'd be...
No, that'd be Mono.
I know.
Right.
My main Mono.
Edwards, do you want to come on on patching up the other ship?
Certainly, Commander.
Is there any reports of injuries on the 2 ships, by the way? Or...
Not that's been reported, no. It's just machine failure, basically. There's no actual people being injured.
No.
Okay.
So, we've got Stevens, Ori, Nova, and Hello going to visit the Mapui. We've got
Bravo coming on this one, and...
You want to take him. You want to, don't you? I can see you hovering over Latude.
It probably would be a good choice to bring Latude. He's the only other engineering NPC, and he actually knows his way around a lot of this stuff. So, yeah, he's coming on the away mission. For once, he's not being the transporter operator, he's coming with us.
Poor man. Being taken out of his comfort zone.
Exactly, so,
Yep.
As soon as you start heading down the corridors, then as you assemble your away team to go to the convoy ship, Latude kind of hurriedly comes after you, going, "Where?" He's got several boxes with him, kits. He's got like one engineering kit. He's got another engineering kit. He's got a fourth kit. You have no idea what's in there. Could be liquor for all you know. And he's carrying a whole stack of pads as well. Wait! I got all the essentials. I'm here. Don't go without me.
Pass the pads here.
There we go. Well, there's one under my chin as well. Anyway. What Vibers finds is that they are all... most of these pads contain like checklists for what to... the security procedures in case of radiological fallout, breakout of biological weapons, and other viruses and stuff like that.
Read your containment manuals. We'll leave those here.
You don't know. Anything could be going on one of those garbage scows you call a cargo hauler. Do you know how often they maintain those things? Not very often. It's not as spick and span as a Starfleet ship.
Your manuals to be leaked to the people who were there.
Sure, they might learn a thing or two from them. You know, how to maybe scrub the deck so you don't catch dysentery or something from just walking down the corridor.
I've got a standing order from the captain. Do not cause a diplomatic incident. They're staying here.
Why would I cause a... You know what? No. It's fine. I'm a professional. I can do this. As you say, Commander.
Don't like being the bad guy in this situation.
It's still true.
Oh, wait.
Alright, I'm ready to transport. You have engaged the viral safeties, right?
Yep.
They know what viral safeties are on the other ship, right?
Can we send him from Transporter Room 2 so it's sort of like the second guy? You know,
yeah.
There's the secret vendetta between him and a Transporter
We are going for Transporter Room 2. No,
bloody hell! Do you know how often he scrubs the matter off of those pads? Every week.
You're the one keeping him. You're the one in charge of him. I'm assuming you're keeping him to point.
I try to get him to do them every 2 days, but apparently it takes too long and it's too much work. Not enough elbow grease in that boy. He'll learn if I have to beat it into him. Not that I'm, not that I am on the record indicating that I do actually assault my junior officers, sir. What?
Edwards, have you had a rotation through transporter operations yet?
Oh, for the love of...
No,
it's fine,
sir.
I'm a professional. Ready for transport, Commander. Let's get this over and done with before, you know, Bravo shoots me or something. Bravo, as it happens, was just pawing the handle on his Type 2 phaser. Bravo just leans over to Edwards and goes, I should have taken my telepathic suppressant. Could I not be the one who stands so close to Latude, please? I'm picking up a lot of mess going on in his head. Nevertheless.
Okay.
Off you guys go.
So, the Team Muppet's gone.
Team Muppet.
They will tell you how to get to Sesame Street, though, so, you know.
Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street?
Transport Room 2, coordinate set number 3. Next question.
What, you're being Transporter Room 3?
You've gone from Transporter Room 2 to Transporter Room 3. Right, gotcha. So you were actually pretending to go help the lead cargo ship. Right!
We're gonna go get drunk.
I'm halfway
Well-
to go straight to the bar, to be honest.
Yes.
Or wherever he keeps his contraband.
Latude, not Latude, pardon me. Ori, Stevens,
There is
Nova,
no
and Hello.
contraband inside the Navis.
Anymore.
So the outside of the hull is so much easier to hide and to explore.
So, yes, Ori, Stevens, Hello, and Nova have arrived on the Mapui.
Yay!
So, she doesn't even have to turn around to know you're there. Helm Officer Ver just she starts sniffing the air and slowly rotates in her chair and looks at Ori up and down, as if she's just spotted like a favourite sandwich or something.
I'll return the gaze.
Captain Tilikaal at which point goes, "Lieutenant, eyes forward onto your console. And as for you, Mr. Ori, I believe you have assistance to be going on in engineering.
Roger that.
Engineer Keth, show them, especially the Delton, to the engineering room, please, where at least there should be some semblance of discipline on this ship." Captain Tilikaal looks over at Unit Hello. Is that thing safe to use?
Ooh, alright.
That's a good point. Last time we saw it, it was being put together on a table.
I think Nova would just grin at him and say that she made it. Probably says no.
I'd like to observe this little fellow in operation, if that's all the same with you. Fascinating. Keth, he indicates to his chief engineer. Yes, Captain. Take a look at this thing. I want one. Do a damn sight better a job than you do. Yes, Captain. Engineer Keth just agrees with his captain. I might actually replace Junior Officer Shum with one of these for all the good he does. Right. Thank you very much for coming across. Now if you could please scuttle down to engineering, I'm sure they need your assistance there. Keth, why aren't you there already? Yes, Captain. This way, please. So, let's move you guys to at least the engineering section of the Mapui.
Scuttles. How do you scuttle sexily?
It's a Delton thing.
You're not exactly sure how he manages it, but Ori does somehow manage to scuttle sexily away.
I've got the right meme for the gift for this.
I mean, Stevens is just rolling her eyes. Nova is just thrilled to be back on board the Mapui with all of her Klingon drinking buddies again. And Unit Hello is just actively scanning everything as he goes, going, interesting. But, yes, essentially you get taken to the engineering section of the Mapui, and it's pretty much what you expect. You've been in the Klingon engineering section before. It's dark, it's dirty, it's loud, but it's nothing you haven't dealt with before. It seems that any and all female Klingon engineers have been pre-evacuated.
What?
And as such...
That's okay.
You see them out on the hull, just doing a spacewalk, just pouring at the sides of the ship.
You can find the big team.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take us back to the Navis bridge, because everybody's tokens are still available there, because we are now scattered across the
Time and space.
the convoy. There we are. That's better. Bit quicker this time to load in. So,
Real fast.
no problem, sir. No problem. Whoop, 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 whoop. So anybody who wants to on the Navis, at the very least, if you want to overcome the power, problem that's just gone on. Reason and engineering task will do to repair the overloaded ODN relay. So, who have we got remaining?
I think the only one that's
Chief.
cursed.
We've still got
I think
Chief. The Chief.
I thought Bravo was sent.
No, I took security. I left you the
Oh, you
chief
took security,
engineer.
Bravo. Alright, that's fine then.
3 engineers and someone to make sure we don't get shot in the back.
I thought it was so we could sedate the tune if we need to.
Yeah. Sedate. I like it. Not at all stun.
That's why I brought you. You're medically trained.
Ah.
In the same way that Bravo currently is.
That's a good point. The other
I
team.
didn't read your report from Bertram. I just know you were a.
So, Vibers, Edwards, Latude, and Security Chief Bravo all transport over to the lead convoy ship. It's pretty much what you expect to find on a civilian cargo hauler. It's a relatively small ship, about a dozen crew members at most. All of them wearing, variations of dirty overalls because, life on one of these short haulers are cramped, but they're nice enough people. There's, of course, the fact that they are hauling a combination of Federation and Klingon tech in the various cargo pods that they've got loaded onto their ship. So, for them, this is as much a run for their reputation. They've done this run only a couple of times, so they'd rather keep their track record of successfully making this cargo run under their belt, because for them it means they get more contracts, as it were, with Starfleet to do these kind of supply runs. So it kind of takes Edwards back to the times when he was moving about on similar civilian haulers back when he was a civvy. So
around the outskirts of the Shackleton, I believe.
Yeah. So
story, right.
So as such, this is nothing that Edwards hasn't seen before. You know exactly where you're going. You know exactly where to find the root of the problem. The crews on these kind of haulers are all, people who know each other and have known each other for some time. Sometimes you get entire families who go on these journeys and just basically second their bring their children along so that they can learn the family trade, as it were. So in this case, there are no children, thankfully, have been brought onto this one. But these guys are mostly either family or guys who have worked with each other for probably decades. So there's a lot of banter that goes on, and so Edwards knows the kind of banter that goes on with these civilian cargo haulers, and can you start using the lingo right away. Latude looks extraordinarily uncomfortable, trying not to touch anything if he possibly can, and Vibers can basically either stand there and just give orders, or banter with the crew, or help out with the actual engineering. It's entirely up to him at this point. So nevertheless, we were going to have, at first, Chief Engineer Bravo try and get his teams or himself to repair the ODN relay. So who hasn't rolled yet? That would be Alex, I do believe. Or am I incorrect?
Engineer Bravo. No,
Engineer Bravo, please. And it's going to be basically daring and engineering, or was it reason and engineering? Reason and engineering,
that's
please.
Weird.
What's weird?
I clicked on him. I'll just. I'll show you one. Looking at.
1 second, folks. Or several seconds, as the case may be.
That's coming. Give me a sec.
Okay, no problem.
Spence is killing me.
Okay, so what you are looking at is basically the character sheet without its style sheet, by the looks of it. Does that happen on when you open up another character?
It's just
Oh,
Alex.
now it is. Yes, it wasn't before.
But now it's doing it to others as well.
Yep, I'm clicking on everyone else's sheets. I'm guessing everyone else has their normal sheets then.
Yep.
I'm seeing
I
normal,
can
so you
see
might
it.
need to reload,
Refresh.
sadly. Yeah, okay. Let's have...
Forge has said they've fixed it, so if you go back to Forge and relog in, it might be alright.
Davis,
Yeah,
I think you're the only other one who hasn't rolled yet, or am I wrong?
I haven't rolled yet. What am I rolling and who for?
Well, you're rolling for your boy, your chief engineer.
Okie doke.
It's going to be Reason and Engineering difficulty 1. And he's doing something to do with repair and power systems, so... Or the Optronic Data Network, sorry, so it's more to do with computer networking.
Now,
He
what's the
has an
engineering department
advantage.
advantage?
He
I
does.
can't remember.
So it basically lowers the difficulty down to 0.
Oh, that'll be easy.
So there we are.
He
Just
still
don't
fails.
fluff it. There we go, 1 success. So easy life, easy job. So the Navis has recovered
And
that
that's
point.
why
of-
Bravo stayed here.
Sadly, though, it seems 2 of your shield emitters have burned out, are going to have to be replaced. Damn electromagnetic blasts. They're going to need to be replaced at a starbase, more than likely. So, Bravo isn't enjoying the conversation with the deckmaster, because this ship literally just got repaired recently. So,
Can you kick Sean, by the way?
oh, kick Sean. Where you are.
Yes, you have to travel a bit to kick him.
Arf, arf, arf. It's only an hour via Telford.
System crashed. Good grief. Not just me having problems. Okie dokie. So, yes, weirdness abounds. But you guys who are on different ships, you can find the damaged systems pretty easily. It's mostly a case now of pulling out the affected
back.
systems. And yeah, so as well as the folks who are repairing damage to the various vessels, we've now got those folks out repairing the other ships. Somebody on sensors could maybe try recalibrating the sensors to pick up these electromagnetic eddies if they can, perhaps. Entirely up to you. Otherwise, let's have... I mean, Sean hasn't got Nova back yet. So maybe we will do... Alex, you back in? Yes, you are. Should we do Edwards?
Say back in a minute.
Oh, okay. Didn't
Maybe what we could also do is take one of the smaller craft and fly slowly around and see if we can detect any effects on the smaller craft from possible pockets.
Okay.
Sort of almost like a dark matter detection technique.
Okay.
If the craft gets affected, might indicate the presence of something.
Okie dokie. So who wants to take what out?
Samson.
I had a feeling, but I thought I'd ask anyway.
Cartography Bravo with you?
Because he doesn't get out enough?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's the
sounds
one.
like a plan. Take
Alright.
cartography, Bravo, and his first ever kind of like mission. The first time we've ever spoken to him. Like, who are you?
Close your mouth, please.
Oh, bless him. Right, so we are launching the Samson, and we are using... Well, this sounds like Thazanan's using the excuse to get on board that, so let's find Thazanan, and... Oh, there we are, you've done it for me, thank you. Let's bring them to somewhere that we can more easily... Alright, so there's their tokens for ease of reference. While I'm at it, let's put these 4 guys next to the Mapui. I know there's an incoming message. One moment, Harridan. And we want the other lot on the lead cargo hauler. Just so that we can access folks. Moment, please. Yeah, there's the other one. Hop. So you guys are over there, you guys are over there, you guys are venturing out. Okay. So. Venturing outwards just a little distance or some such in order to get a feeling as to what happens or gets close to. Okay, so this is going to be a job for, it looks like, Bravo of Stellar Cartography.
Between the stellar cartography, sort of viewing lensing effects of stars in the distance, and maybe resonance, astronavigation, we can try and detect changes in local space which could be caused by the anomalies.
Sure.
And also, if the Navis monitors the movement of the Samson, maybe the Navis can pick up small changes to the Samson's maneuvering, which could be caused by the anomalies.
So essentially what we've got here is either Thazanan or Bravo of Stellar Cartography are going to be leading this attempt to try and find more information on what's going on. The Samson sensors are going to be assisting, as well as the Navis's sensors. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the maximum of 5 dice, really. Unless we want to leave the Samson out of it and just go with whatever Bravo of Cartography can derive from the data themselves, so that you can get another actual person, either player character or non-player character, participating as well. I hope that was clear.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So
perhaps Mono from Finance.
Okay, let's find Mono. While I'm here, you've got those two. You've got Cursed. The Cap. You know what, let's bring everybody out just so I can access their character sheets. Have I missed anybody? No. Got. Alright. Let's bring them over. They will be cramming in about here.
Sorry, I didn't say it correctly. Science!
I want Mono from Finance now. It's just...
Do.
I thought
Right.
Mono's cousin Money did Finance.
Mono, Money, Monet. Monarchs. Okay, I'm getting lost
No,
in this.
Monet's the waiter in the bar. He does very good impressions.
Mono and Monoko. Alright then, so we are going to get Thazadan, Bravo, Mono, and the Navis. So, is Thazadan leading this charge since it was his idea, or is he assisting Bravo, who is going to be leading this because he's got the science, higher science score?
I think Bravo is leading.
Well, since Bravo is leading, and Bravo's from the science posse, Mike, you can be Lieutenant Bravo if you could.
Finally a Bravo.
Oh yeah, you haven't had the pleasure yet, have you? So.
I don't think so.
Sean, are you back in yet?
Yeah, I'm back in.
Awesome. Could you be Mono for me, please?
What? Which
The
Bravo
ship.
am I?
Sorry, what was that?
Which Bravo?
Which
am I?
Bravo? You're this one that I'm pinging now.
Okay.
The one that's going on the Samson with Thazanan. I will tell you what to roll in just a moment, as soon as we figure out who's who. Mono is going to be consulting sensors, and who wants to be the Navis? Webby, do you want to be the Navis?
Can do.
Cool. So the Navis is going to be doing sensors and science, more than likely. Mono and Thazanan and Bravo. You can use reason and science, or reason and security, or reason and engineering. So, some clever accountancy and I'll score successes. Well, far be it for me to say that this is not the situation that accounting would come in useful, but okay. Apparently accounting did not come in useful. Okay. So,
it was bad accountancy, so
it was very bad accountancy, but Kival gives a success, as does the Navis sensors, so now it's all down.
Sorry about that food delivery.
That's okay.
Navis is just Navis is just out there like beep boop beep boop.
Is Bravo assisting or doing a full
Nope,
roll?
Bravo is lead, so Bravo rolls 2. Bravo also has astrophysics involved, so Bravo can use
What did I miss?
that. We
Every
are
bit.
scanning! We are doing science. So we got 2 successes overall, which was less than we needed. So,
Everything's fine, Dave.
Everything's
Okay.
fine.
well, the good news is you managed to find one of the electromagnetic pockets. The bad news is you managed to pretty much fly straight into it.
You managed to find one of the electromagnetic pockets. I know that's
I did
technically the
say-
same thing.
I did say we were going slowly.
You did, which is why the effect is a lot less than it would be if you'd have going a lot faster. So essentially, what you have done is you have discovered a trait. You pretty much found the trait for this area, electromagnetic eddies, and they have a scale 2 effect, which means that anything to do with certain tasks that the electromagnetic eddies can affect will have their difficulty increased by 2. The Samson, unfortunately, by just grazing one of these eddies, does get a point of power knocked out as one of its relays goes up. Bang!
It's totally planned.
I meant to do that!
Is it in one?
Bravo looks out and goes, there's a scratch.
On the bridge, Andrew's just like, he scratched it. Just like jumps across the communications and like, Kavam!
Sorry, Captain, just meeting expectations.
Next time, just save time by pre-scratching.
Okay.
That's what I usually do.
Yeah, it just comes out. Comes out.
Alright,
You've not
so...
noticed the twin streaks of somebody using their comm badge to scratch the hull on the way in as a good luck charm.
Yes, it's bad luck to go out without a scratch down the side of the ship. That way you're guaranteed not to have anything happen. Okay, so essentially the Samson just happened upon one of these electromagnetic eddies, and it seems there are indeed focused pockets of these things. They are slightly mobile too. So the Samson pulls away in order to not linger in that area for too long. So going through the pockets themselves would be pretty bad news. Just being in the area of these electromagnetic eddies is enough to cause difficulty with sensors and such. So your ship, I mean the Samson and the Navis, are sophisticated enough that they could potentially survive going through these things, but the effect on the convoy ships would probably be a lot more harsh. As far as the Mapui goes, you know that the Mapui is solid Klingon design, but then the Klingons aren't exactly known for their, how shall we say, their ships have been refitted an awful lot. I mean, it took a while for anything but the D7 to come out of Kronos shipyards for a while. But thankfully the Cavort class, which the Mapui is one of the newer ones, but Klingon ships are known to have power plant issues now and again. So chances are that if you wanted to be able to move through this nebula with a bit more success, it might be prudent to start modulating the shields of the convoy in order to insulate the ships from the worst of the effects. So whoever wants to attempt it can attempt it, basically, and then whoever's on the other ships. So so an assist from at least one character who is on the Mapui and one character who's on the convoy ship will represent them applying those changes to those ships too. So, excuse me. So we should have maybe, I mean, either somebody from the Samson or more than likely somebody on the Navis can try and affect those changes to the shield modulation, and it can then ripple off across everybody else who is assisting. So this will be a reason and engineering with support from the ship's structure and engineering. So once again, Chief Engineer Bravo can probably be one of the better ones to do this. The ship, we can probably get Gareth to be the Navis. Who wants to help out with this from the Mapui crew?
Nova's got shields as a poker.
Ah, well, that would make that a choice obvious, so cool. And who wants to help out from the freighter crew?
I can help out from the freighter.
Alright then, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's the maximum of dice. Okay, cool. So, Navis, you may as well roll for your boy, your chief engineer. Gareth can roll for the Navis. Sean, you're rolling for Nova, and Alex, you're rolling for Edwards. So the ship is rolling structure and engineering, everybody else is rolling reason and engineering. Anybody who's got anything to do with shields or that kind of stuff can use. Oh dear!
Electroplasma?
Yes, that'll help too.
I saw that roll onto a 20, then back.
Oof.
Ooh, don't worry.
Got one.
I know what help.
Use it.
Navis will throw this in for the complication. Surely this will come to it.
If all else fails, rapid fire torpedo launcher. Okay, so Andrews is using her Legion of Honor in order to negate that complication. So what have we got? We've got Edwards with 1 success, Nova from 1 success. The ship didn't add anything to the fray, so now it's all down to Bravo, who got 4 successes. Good lord, it's 6 in total. Well done, very nicely done. So those shield modulations go across the entire fleet, as it were. So the convoy ships and the Mapui are going to be applying that shield modulation, as is the Samson. So is the Samson staying out for a little bit, or is the Samson coming back now that it's done its job?
I think now that we've found the problem, we can go back.
Okay, so you guys straight back there to represent you boarding back on, or docking, I should say, back on the thing, the ship.
Well, we'll guiltily sneak back onto the bridge.
Slide surreptitiously back into the helm officer's seat, like
Not
he was
sexy
never
scuttling.
gone. Sexy scuttling.
Dude, let's get this freighter back running.
Okay, cool. So, essentially what you have found is that the electromagnetic eddies in this region are components of a much larger interstellar cloud, which seems to span part of this sector of the expanse. According to what the science team have been able to get from the sensors, the cloud consists of gas, dust, and plasma. Whilst looking at the sensors, actually, excuse me a second. Whilst looking at the sensors, Mono does notice that one of those electromagnetic eddies is displaying drift patterns that suggest that it might not be naturally occurring. And he also catches on the sensors a momentary glimpse of one such non-natural eddy actually opening and closing, emitting what the computer is identifying as a trans-dimensional ionic energy signature before the eddy then collapses into a mix of electromagnetic radiation and dust. It was there for a moment and then
part
gone.
of space is alive, Lieutenant Mono.
Mono's not sure, but you can always try and theorize, since he has got quantum mechanics and astrological phenomena. So I can either make him go with a guess, or maybe you can roll if you want to do that as well. Up to you. Or you can spend momentum to obtain information.
Yeah, spend some momentum to obtain information. We've not done that for a long time.
Yep, so I think you spend 2 to basically ask a question, and I've got to answer honestly, so. But to do with what we were talking about. The eddy. So, is there a question that you can think of?
I mean,
or go on.
I don't think it's going to be one that's going to be able to answer, because I was just thinking like ways of basically neutralising the effects. If it's a magnetic pulse, then surely we'd be able to come up with some sort of polar opposite that could actually weaken it or neutralise it. So part of me wants to ask is,
if at the same time if it's sentient, we're now inflicting harm on a sentient being.
Okay, so what would you like to ask? What's the question? I mean, you can put this to the group, and, you know...
okay, I actually have a thought, one that's not going to hurt it if we're approaching it like a life form. Simply just does the pattern of the way the eddies up vaguely match the pulse of a magnetic signal that would be found in a biological creature, or something along those lines. Obviously workshopped, fine-tuned, but that's what I'm thinking as the question.
What does everybody else think?
Similarities are something we can base to identify if it is a life form or not.
Cool. Everybody else's thoughts?
Another option is to approach it from the other end. Does it match any known cosmological or astronomical phenomena?
Okay. So you basically come at the same question from a different angle. So not exactly excluding, but asking the question of whether or not it resembles anything you've come across before. that could maybe, and as such could maybe be explained by something alive or not. Are we going with that, or do we want to workshop this out a little bit more?
I'm fine with the proposal.
Okay. So the question was, does it bear any resemblance to astrological phenomena that has been encountered before, essentially? Was that it, or did I get that wrong?
Well, not just that we've encountered, but it's also documented in the ship's computers.
I assumed, but nice to have the clarification. Yes. Okay, fine. If that's the question, then I can confirm that Mono comes to the conclusion that this energy signature has been seen. This kind of transdimensional energy signature has been seen before. Thankfully, not in any living creature. You have witnessed these kind of transdimensional energy signatures every time an aperture has opened to the Tilikaal realm that you've observed in the past.
Oh, you mean the place where they had their minds/spirits?
Yes. So, back before, when, you know, there was an aperture that opened and it flung a planet at another planet. It happened then, when you went back to Beta Niobe and you activated the monoliths that opened a rift that went into the antimatter alternative universe. Similar kind of thing. So these non-natural eddies could very well be the result of Tilikaal attempts at contact or whatever. From this, Mono, with his knowledge of quantum mechanics, kind of comes to the conclusion that even though technically you have spoken with the Tilikaal and have cleared up more or less what seems to be going on, it's entirely possible that the sheer power of what they've been unleashing in order to try and establish communication has been rippling out through space-time. So the after effects of their attempts at opening holes in between subspace realms could well have rippled out both into the past and into the future.
Okay, so now we have interdimensional holes we need to be fixed because they're going to be a hazard.
Incidentally, sensors have now got a better idea of where the various wandering eddies are, so I have now brought them up as helpful little flashing clouds that are going on. Unhelpfully, it seems that the first convoy ship had managed to smack right into one, so they're going to have to leave it on impulse power.
On this nice, safe convoy ship that's nowhere near an eddy at all. Oh, wait.
So, yes, when they get the confirmation that they are in fact caught in the middle of such an eddy which is preventing their a stable warp field from forming, that's when the captain of the convoy vessel elects to slowly move the ship out on thrusters. So, it seems you've got a bit of an obstacle course in front of you in order to get around this, get through this system. However, having conducted repairs to the Mapui and the freighter, it takes some time to do, but nevertheless, repairing overload damage is something you guys have got a long history with, so it doesn't take you much time at all to do it. You've already tried piloting through them to find out what you can find, so that's cool. You've preempted me on that. So essentially, we can now have the Mapui crew do a skill task to repair the Mapui, and also the convoy cargo vessel's crew to repair the damage done to themselves. We've already pretty much repaired the Navis because that was just an ODN overload. So if I can have a daring and engineering from somebody on the Mapui side and a daring and engineering from somebody on the cargo ship side, we can see how well you manage to buff out those dings. Difficulty will be 1 for both of these, and whoever wants to do it can do it. But they will be rolling 2 dice because individual effort.
The tune's actually the best for it.
Go on then. You do Latude.
Okay.
So Nova and Ori and Stevens can do their jobby as well on the Mapui.
Hello, do you want me to see him work?
Yeah, so, you know, Hello can join in too, so that'll be the maximum of 5 dice for that ship.
Okay.
Who's leading?
Let Latude lead, and we can get those two to.
I meant on our ship, Latude was the best.
Yeah.
So let's.
It's a roll per ship, isn't it?
Gareth, do you mind being Latude then on their ship?
Okay. Wait, I need to get into Latude's character. Oh, work!
Yeah, just moan.
It is 1 roll per ship, isn't it, with assistant?
Yeah, so 1 person is the lead on the individual ship, and the others are assistants, and it all counts towards how well you do on that individual ship. So, Ori, Stevens, Hello, and Nova are helping repair the Mapui, and the other side, likewise, the cargo vessel.
What are we rolling? Daring and what?
Daring and engineering, please.
Two dice for Latude.
2 dice for
right.
Latude, yes. Okay.
Latude's only half-heartedly at it.
I mean, we could try with Security Bravo. He does have a little bit.
We've got 2 successes total.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And we've now got Ori. Ori's enthusiastic, but seems to be more concerned with getting himself all filthy for the ladies.
Oh, daring's not his forte.
No. For the Klingon
It's amazing
ladies.
how often he's spending his time posing.
Put in some grease under those fingernails. Okay, so can we have Webby? You can be Stevens as per usual. Sean, Nova, and Hello are both your babies. So
Jan's not rolled 1 if he wants to be Hello.
yeah, Jan can be Hello.
Sure. I guess power management, computer control systems, all of those foci would be useful.
Yeah. Damage control and repair also helps as well. So Hello has got manifold skills. In fact, good grief. Considering it's Hello's first time in a Klingon ship, Hello gets the hang of it very, very quickly.
Is it scarily quickly?
He's showing off for a call who's given full access.
So Hello has turned into the ship's cat. He's doing work for praise and attention.
He's become like the equivalent of a Klingon K9.
It's no more targs on the ship.
Right. So yes, basically, Akul is there looking down at Hello's progress and just elbows his engineer very, very roughly. See? This does a better job than you! I may as well have my entire crew populated by these machines for all the work they do! Incidentally, if I wanted one, how can I get my hands on one? Is he kind of like takes Nova off to one side?
We should start explaining in full detail how she made it out of the doors.
Really? Interesting. Tilikaal computer cores, you say? Okay. So, Like I said, Edwards' familiarity with these old ships enables you guys to get the thing repaired very easily. Latude complains a lot, but, you know, he knows what he's doing as well, and he gets it done very, very well. Vibers, this place doesn't have a manual. It looks like it's a hodgepodge that's been put together and taken apart numerous times. Civilians, what are you going to do? But
Don't they know not even the screws fitting this thing together are up to code?
Yeah, they just hammer it in and weld them on. What more do you need? My mother warned me, but there'd be days like this. Meanwhile, the guys...
I wish I'd listened to what my father said when I was young.
Did we get a roll from Stevens? I don't think we did. Nevertheless, the crew on the Mapui do a fantastic job. I mean, especially Hello. Hello just rocks and rolls in there, because Hello can get into the small spaces and can conduct repairs more easily. As such, does a very, very good job. So, power systems have been repaired, overloads have been taken care of, everything looking good. So, the guys on the Mapui, you're kind of dusting yourselves off and just basically putting grease stains on your tidy uniforms, because basically Klingons don't know how to keep things clean. It's not quite the same on the Convoy freighter, because, you know, they're not as bad as Klingons, but at the same time, you've got some, you've definitely got the signs of being in or around the engine sections on you. So your uniforms could do with a clean. But unilaterally across all the ships, that's when a klaxon or an appropriate alert sounds. As sensors read, if I can just find it. Sensors read that a number of ships have just come out of warp and are on an intercept course with the convoy.
Look, Commander, actual Orion Raiders.
And it's at this point, just as you are about to, so those especially on the Navis bridge who are getting ready to react, that's when all the consoles and all the displays on the bridge or on the systems that you're looking at, they start to flicker and flash, and everybody pretty much just backs away from their consoles and going, whoa, what's going on? And as this interference continues, all of a sudden, the every single screen, including the view screen, is suddenly overtaken by a bright red emblem of a black sun pierced through by a sword. You have seen this emblem once before, and just to emphasize the matter, the view screen turns itself to display a female Orion, a rather severe looking female Orion with a facial tattoo, not going from her forehead down to her chin. Is everybody alright over there?
It's just my cat. So.
Okay. So the woman's facial tattoo doesn't go from her forehead all the way down to her chin to cross over her eye like you have seen with others, but this one is definitely on the left side of her face. You have seen her before. This is Lolani Tarn, the basically the Orion pirate mistress who tried to beat you to those power those power sticks, those batteries essentially in the on the archaeological, it wasn't the archaeological dig, but you'd found an abandoned ruin where you were basically racing the Orions to find whatever was generating the power source you had detected, and you had managed to. She had managed to elude you, but she'd left her twin sons behind to try and keep you distracted, and you had basically beaten them up and taken them prisoner.
Was this the one where also we're racing the Ferengi, or am I thinking of a different?
That's one previous to that. So this was just the Orions you were racing against. And she appears imperiously on your view screens. And those of you who are on the other ships, you can make your way to the individual bridges of those ships and you get the same view. As she is just staring down the view screens at you. Well, well, well. If it isn't those people who helped prove that I am indeed royalty. Such an occasion as finding you here should be celebrated. If only you hadn't gone and committed that egregious sin of putting my boys in prison. Or at least, temporarily you did. Whatever am I to do? Maybe I should invite some friends to have some words with you. Or you could do the honorable thing and just hand me those cargo haulers. And we can all be on our way.
Oh, she's too afraid to face us on her own. She has to bring back up. Oh, how brave the royalty of the Orions must be.
Are you actually saying that out loud to the view screen?
I'm contemplating it. She's kind of like, she's baiting a response. She wants to prove that she's better than us. I'm like, well,
just say to Claude, tell her what she's won.
yeah, God, Claude, tell her what she's won. Torpedo to the face.
She's won a press of Claude's button.
Although Andrews would want to say that, the Starfleet dictates that we don't fire the first shot.
What she's won into the face. Ah dear. Okay, so is there a response, or are you just going to wait for her to talk some more?
I'm tempted to mute her. Just let her talk at the screen.
Hang up.
Yeah, just like hang up.
Sorry, we've already got one.
Yeah, hang up, emergency shutdown of the computer core and restart, and take those bloody sensors offline because something's been interfered with. More than likely the sensor suite that's just been installed.
Oh, look. I just realised I've left I've left the two people who have. Two of your three people have probably got all your overrides for the computer, the extra secure backup.
On different ships.
It's fine because we can still do an emergency restart on the computer under the captain's authorization.
Oh yeah.
It's just we can't put in the interlocks. Well, we can. We just can't deactivate the interlock.
So then, Captain, are you going to do the sensible thing and surrender now, or are we going to have to drag this out? I've got a feeling I know what you're going to choose.
Oh, enlighten me. I'm curious as to see which way you think this is going to go. I'm just remembering how well it went for the Orions the last time you came into conflict with us, but who's to say?
I had a feeling you would bring that up. As it happens, though, you have been making a lot of enemies around these parts these days, and much to the benefit of my rather full wallet, there were some people I found that were willing to have a shot at you for almost free. Maybe I should invite them to the party too. At which point there is a warning alert that there are energy signatures, tachyon signatures being the sensors detect tachyon signatures. At which point, on the Mapui, those guys who are on the Mapui, the sensor operator goes, I'm detecting, or not, because the civilian shipmaster, once the Navis of Mapui kicks off the party, gets a message to the other civilian ships to get behind the eddy. Okay. I am reading multiple ships decloaking off of our starboard bow, Captain. As indeed a quintet of Klingon birds of prey decloak and are heading in towards you. That's six? That's six, pardon me, that's six. Sextet. Sextet. Pardon me.
It's a mirage. There's only 5. Delete 1. You said 5. You should quit it.
It's a baker's 5.
Baker's 5.
Was it thorium shadows or what are they? Geranium shadows?
It's so one of them can have a mutiny and there's still 5 of them to fight. They're just having a good day.
Well, I think this is going to be red alert.
Good luck, Captain. I do hope you put up a fight.
Oh, it's the Klingons as well. Remember what happened last time? Remember what happened to your uncle? Mr.
So,
Claude, press the button.
I was actually thinking in front of that, do we want to try something that instead of neutralise it, something that would potentially detonate it, or say detonate it, send out a large eddy just to throw them aside? An increase of the positive polarity of the current.
Burst the
Magnetic
polarity of the entire cosmos.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Basically, sod this, shall we up the ante?
Upping the ante, sir.
I think the ante has been upped.
See, the best way to do it is detonate like a thing that takes out all the Klingons at once and leaves them electromagnetically fucked in space, and then turn to the Orions and say, could you throw some better allies at us, please?
Right, so as well as the electromagnetic eddies now making anything to do with sensor operations difficult, you now have the difficulty also that you have compromised systems. And the moment the moment Lalani Tarn signs off, your communications officer sends you an indication that they are scrambling your communications.
We don't need this.
Yeah, we don't need those. We can trust Claude. We can trust Claude. We can trust the Mapui.
Yeah.
And Vibers is wise enough to take the lead on the civilian side.
We have a
Bear in
telepath
mind-
on every ship that's familiar with each other.
Pazidan is only flying the small Sanson that only has micro torpedoes, which means in the first turn he only might destroy 3 or 4 of the Klingons, not the whole lot.
Yeah, but it's Claude. The Samson's back in the
Yes, indeed, the Samson is back in the shuttle bay.
Yeah, it was Claude and Cavall that murdered him with the Samson, wasn't it?
With a single torpedo.
Micro torpedo.
Yeah. We sent Pazidan's out in the Samson and sent a Finn out. It's like, we're going to let the Samson defeat the Klingons while the Navis will be held in reserve to fight whatever's actual threat.
Whatever's left.
Do we actually know who's in charge of these Klingons?
Well, the guys on the Mapui will hang on a second. I need to just rename something so I can see what's what. Pardon me. So those of you who are on the Mapui, the Captain Akul will have asked, whose ships are those, and the ops officer will come back and say that the birds of prey bear markings of House Varoth. So yes, indeed, it was that general who General Varoth was the general who basically tried to sucker punch the Navis when he was escorting you through Klingon space. This was just at the very start of the Federation Klingon War, and the Navis was the last ship to leave Narendra Station and therefore was being escorted through Klingon space by General Varoth's ship, but he didn't make it all the way there because he pulled the fast one and tried basically taking you out when you kind of least expected it, but it didn't work out the way he wanted.
And he rated his nephew afterwards.
It was his son, actually.
Oh, was it his son? Oh.
It was his son. You basically kept rubbing it into his son when he came along to a mission with you.
He started it.
Well, yeah,
we
an argument can be made. argument can be made that he did indeed,
He
he did start it,
He
yeah.
definitely did start it.
Hey, I'm on your side, remember? So, yeah. So, House Varoth, not long after that thing where the son tried to get revenge for the imagined slight to his family's honour, because you did broadcast how much of a failure General Varoth was after you defeated him. Oh, he called for backup!
Honor dictated we had to speak truly.
Yeah. So, as such, yes, you gained the ire of his son, who tried to, like his dad, attack you when when your guard was pretty much not exactly down, but while on a mission to do something else. But not long after that, the entirety of House Varoth kind of left the Empire and became rogue agents in a similar fashion to House Duras. You hadn't seen them since, and it seems they've made friends. So, yeah, we have a situation here. So we've got the Orion Raiders and the Birds of Prey going on. So, we've got you guys and you guys. So, those of you who are on different ships, your ability to contribute to this situation is basically whatever you can think of.
Okay, I've got something for the civilian one, but I'll let everyone else. I'll let the Mapui lot go first if they want to.
So essentially, this is going to go in a similar fashion to what combat has gone in the past. It's basically one of you, one of them, one of you, one of them, etc., etc., etc. Unless, of course, you spend momentum. I don't think you have to spend momentum, actually, because you've got the ability to seize the initiative for a greatly reduced cost.
Yeah, quick to action.
Quick to action. So you guys can essentially, because you're so quick to action, you can start taking whatever actions you want to very, very much now. Now, I hasten to note, you do have things working against you, like I've already noted. The electromagnetic eddies will make anything relating to sensors be that much harder. That includes navigation. We all know Fazanan usually doesn't pay much attention to those kind of things anyway, but compromised systems. At the moment, you do have compromised computer systems, so the systems themselves will be fighting against your ability to control them, adding an extra layer of difficulty. Communication scrambled, too, means that any attempt to communicate between ships will be too more difficult than they usually are. So, with that in mind, who of you guys would like to go first? Apologies for those who are watching this and watching me wheel about the map erratically. You're seeing me zoom in, zoom out, move left, move right, up and down. I'm terribly sorry for giving people motion sickness, but, you know, there's a lot going on. So,
how willing is a call to let Hello and link up to his computer systems?
ooh. How cool is he to link up to the computer systems? Well, we've already established that Captain Akul is very impressed with Unit Hello, so I'm going to say he's fine with throwing caution to the wind and letting Unit Hello access the ship systems. Why'd you ask? What's the
I'm
idea?
Thinking, Nova would work with him to create an advantage to remove the compromised systems by channeling it through Hello and basically filtering them out or throwing shit back at them to scramble their systems.
Okay, so removing the compromised systems is going to be one thing. Doing the other thing, you can do in your own turn. So Unit Hello can work to integrate itself into the system in order to remove the advantage compromised systems, at least for the Mapui. And then Nova, on Nova's turn, can try and do that. Sending, what was it? Scramble their communications, essentially?
Yeah, so using the order of tactics, I can create a duplicate copy so it'd be remove the compromisation and send it back to them.
Some strategy that they automatically create a second identical advantage. They create 2 copies of an advantage to be used together for greater effect. Oof! Nice. Alright, well, it sounds like we're activating Unit Hello first, so let's add folks. So that they're not left out. I'll just add Edwards and Vibers for that team for the moment. But first things first, we're activating Unit Hello, because Unit Hello wants to do something. So, integrating into the system. That is going to get annoying. Let me turn off Shao Kahn, who's telling me that I'm next, even though I'm very much not next. Unit Hello is trying to integrate with the Klingon systems. Now, I'm going to allow you to build off the advantage that Unit Hello's already put in by succeeding so well at helping repair the engineering systems. So, let's go with, this is going to be a control and engineering check to physically link to the Mapui's system. This is going to be difficulty 2 for Hello to do in order to basically pay to cancel the compromised systems advantage. And computer control systems and quantum computing, they, Unit Hello's got the foci for this, so do it.
Alrighty.
Looking good. Exactly what was needed. Well done. So, yes, now all command functions for the Mapui can be routed through Unit Hello, as such, overcoming the compromised systems for the Mapui. Very, very nice. Very good. So who's going next? Are we going straight to Nova to do her thing? I'm hearing no objections.
Yeah.
Okay. So as a result, you are now trying to create a similar disadvantage for them, and basically doubling it. Man. Alright, so let's see. This sounds like you don't have anything to do with communications or anything like that, but you do have infiltration. So you're basically trying to break into their communication system and flood it with nonsense. So let's go with daring and science.
Yeah.
With your focus of infiltration. This is going to be difficulty. Does it reduce the? No, it's still going to be difficulty 2 to create the advantage, but you create 2 for the price of 1. Star-Cross, nice. Ooh, double, yep. Right, so
that's 6 will count as an extra.
Yeah, so that's 3 successes in total. So yes, you have created double the problem for them. Let me actually create the proper advantage for you guys. What are we going to call this? Enemy comms scramble, and it's basically twice the price, so they're going to have even more. They've basically got feedback screeching through their ears. What was that, Gareth?
Scramble their sensors so they crash into each other.
Or the anomaly.
Or an anomaly.
Yeah.
Right, who wants to go next?
Me and Darius might have something.
Okay.
We've got an interesting one that will work.
Okay.
I want to cover both bits, and then I think Alex's bit goes first.
Basically, as the signal from each individual ship is weak, use the weaker, smaller ships as they're in close proximity to basically bounce off each other. One hits one, adds their own bit of power to the signal, hits another, and it basically keeps compounding to the point where it can then hit the larger ships and connect everyone, and basically remaking a smaller network around them.
So creating
So
a focused comnet.
Yes.
Yeah, we're making a mesh comnet using the civilian ships as an antenna
Each
to
one
talk to the bigger ones.
Each one reinforces the other, because as I said, if each individual one is weak, then slowly putting their bits into one bigger one to connect everything up.
And the reason I said there's two parts to this is we currently have compromised systems over here as well.
Yes.
So, what I'm going to be doing is pinching the pads that were chewed stuck in his back pocket even when I told him to leave them behind. And we are rebooting a civilian ship to run off a pad that is normally set up as a backup to run the Navis in an absolute emergency.
Okay.
In other words, I'm taking my military kit that's from Lachude's Paranoid stash that never touches the network.
You're using military grade hardware on meeting civilian grade. Okay.
Yeah, but I have a pocket computer. It's better than the one filling your back room. Right, let's see what we can do.
Righty. Now give me a second. I am experiencing a very high CPU load at the moment. So let me try and see if I can calm things down a bit by deactivating things we don't need.
One bit that's the linking, that's it. Those two bits. Why those things linked together?
Right, does that help?
They're probably going to already have a pre-established inter-fleet comm system anyway for these small ships, because that's how they survive in a convoy. So if you're using that pre-existing network to be the just empowering it, designing it to rather everything do normally, just to bounce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's actually why this third bit kicks in. If we're getting this ship running off a pad off uncompromised comms and systems, with this comm network we're setting up with these and getting running, we're setting ourselves as convoy control, so maybe we can override the local systems with what we're sending and get them some form of control back. Well, get us some form of control back of them.
Job number 1 for you guys is Edwards establishing this communications net. So this is definitely seat of your pants type of engineering here. So this is definitely going to be daring and engineering, but this is drawing upon Edwards's communications focus. Roll seduce their computers. Thanks, Mike. You never know, smearing a few Delton pheromones over the computers might make them work better.
That's right.
Would this potentially add into it, though?
Jury rig. Whenever you attempt an engineer to perform repairs.
Good point, yeah.
Yeah, you're not doing repairs, you're kind of creating an advantage.
Yeah,
but...
it'd be, yeah. Yeah, I did realise that. Okay,
But this tech does belong in a museum.
So this...
I wouldn't go for that.
This is a difficulty 2 to basically create your counter advantage and essentially nullify the communication scramble.
I would like to take a momentum.
I was going to say, you're not going to give it back. Well, you might do, actually, by succeeding very well, so yeah. Go for it. 2 successes on the money, so you do.
I might
manage
get that back anyway. Where is it? Is it Spirit Discovery? No, ignore that. Wrong one. Where's the one where I roll a challenge dice and get something back?
Give me a second, I will find it.
That's it, it's untapped potential.
Right. So, whenever a character succeeds at a task which they bought 1 or more additional dice with either momentum or threat, they may roll a challenge dice. That character receives bonus momentum equal to the roll of the challenge dice, adds 1 to threat if an effect is rolled. Alright then. Nothing.
It's worth
But-
a shot.
Nevertheless, you did manage to essentially nullify their advantage of the communication scramble, so nicely done. So that means next up was Vibers' idea of trying to get over the compromised systems for the cargo haulers.
Yep. And I don't have to do that. That's a shame. Oh well. It's gonna come up with a crazy story, but I don't need to this time. Right. So this is computers. Vibers is behind on his breakfast. And daring and engineering. Let's reboot a bunch of cargo haulers.
Woo! Alright, so that was 3 more than necessary, which means that you get a 3. You've got a full momentum pool once again, so compromised systems has been cured for the Mapui and the Convoy now, since they're linked. Communications have been re-established with your guys, and theirs has got a communication scramble going on, so that's pretty cool. Seeing as we're still under the effects of Andrews's talent of quick to action, who else of you lot wants to go and accomplish summit? Because basically the Navis is still suffering from compromised systems at this point. So anybody on the Navis got any ideas of how they want to solve this? So who have we got on the Navis?
I think we've got engineering Bravo, so yeah, I think a emergency computer shutdown and restart.
Computer shutdown and restart would mean that
computers.
Yeah, you're basically making the Navis dead in the water. I mean, the shields would still be up, but
necessarily, if it's done quick enough, the computers should tick along on its own for just.
You're basically restarting the main computer, which controls pretty much everything. Processes with it, you know, the central, the main computer is essentially the server farm for the entire ship.
Yeah,
where all
the entire system will still have its own backups. It's the main thing is to stop this sensor thing from causing any additional glitches.
I was going to say, would you need to do a full reset, or could you just restart specific systems that link to that?
Yes.
Somebody went, ooh, I think that was Davis. Yep.
So, this is Bravo doing this one, and this is very similar to something we've done before. Why not restart one of the runabouts from backup? Because you can do that without taking things down, and then just route the sensors through the runabout.
Yeah.
The sensors aren't the issue. The issue is that your computer has basically got a virus that someone has used as a backdoor to try and infiltrate your systems and make it very difficult for you to control your ship. The overall problem with the sensors is ambient to the actual environment that you're in. Now, unless you want to do something to create an advantage to counteract the electromagnetic eddies, that's something you can do, absolutely. But it won't do anything to purge your main computer of the basically hack that's happened. So the idea for shutting down the main computer is definitely one. It's going to need time to reboot though, so you're essentially stopping the Navis from being able to do any more specific tasks. That doesn't mean the crew themselves can't do something, but the options are going to be limited if you do shut down the main computer, because it's going to be off and then restarting from scratch.
Can we try and detect if it's an interference, if they're sending out a transmission that's causing the interference? Because then if we just pump a massive amount of power out from the deflector, it can potentially scramble the signals being sent to the Navis.
Sure, I mean, the best person to do this would probably be Cursed. She hasn't done anything yet.
And
I mean,
this
she's
is an emergency.
Well, ship systems investigation and audit specialist, so let's activate Cursed. Cursed is trying to find the reason for the compromised system, so yeah, she can also use computers as well if she really needs to. She's got computer expertise, so she can add a bonus d20 to her pool. So this is gonna be... Ooh, I'm actually gonna be reason and science. So, who hasn't rolled yet and wants to be cursed? Who wants to be cursed? I am Danhausen. I'm nowhere near that funny. Tab. I don't know, Webby, you came up with the idea. Do you want to be cursed? Or do you want to let maybe Gareth be cursed?
I'll be cursed if you want.
Going once. Going twice. Sold to that man there. Gareth, feel free to roll reason and science with a focus for cursed. This is going to be difficulty 3.
Is it okay if I use a point of momentum, guys? To buy another dice?
Go for it.
I am going to also use a point of threat to add a complication, to add the complication range go up by 1 step.
Fine, you do that then.
Got all these points, I may as well use them.
Well, I rolled 3
Someone
successes
else-
and a complication.
Someone else want to use theirs, or am I using mine?
Good question. Does anybody have a Legion of Honor spare that they want to use, or...
That's on the ship.
It's anyone, it doesn't have
okay.
to be. It just
Cabal.
says Legion of Honor. If you
Yep.
actually read it, it's anyone.
Yep, and I'm happy with that. As long as somebody uses it and they don't have it, you know, they've used it. They've used their Legion of Honor.
Okay.
Spiffing. So we ignore that complication, otherwise that means we got 3 successes, which was on the money. Cursed finds that, yes, someone has used kind of like a Trojan horse virus to infiltrate the Navis's computer systems and implant, you know, a virus that is interfering with ship computer functions. So it's basically slowing the computer down and causing glitches, which is making any computerized system on the ship harder to use. In Cursed... Sorry, go
I
on.
was about to say DDoS attack.
So essentially, Cursed reckons that there's a height, since she's detecting no signal as such, it was a command that was activated. So she could probably, if somebody checks sensors, they might be able to tell whether or not the command routine was activated from either on the ship or off the ship. But for the meantime, Cursed reckons that this virus was already planted in the ship, more than likely in amongst the new software that you got given as an update. Indeed.
I told them not to buy from Orion Soft.
Orion.
It was such a good price.
Yeah, but I mean, could you at least not gone for the visitor package?
I mean, that does mean when we get back to the station, we need to go through security to security go through everyone. That could
Oh yeah, there's going to be
this.
it's going to be yet another investigation on the
Purge.
yeah.
Yikes.
Like how
Alright.
inept is the command crew of the station to let anyone on board? Oh yeah, you can do whatever you want on these engines. You want to put this software in? Yeah, it's fine, mate.
We have one system we know isn't infected.
Yeah.
The deflector dish, because I told him no. And it
the
was
port
last
cell.
written in a book together by Nova.
Yes, the port nacelle. No one ever comes out of the port nacelle with their sanity intact, so you can safely say nobody went in
Here's
there.
Here's a question. You know what you did just now with basically making that network to essentially make the freighters one big antenna.
Mm-hmm.
And the Orion what's-her-face indicated they were going to go for the freighters. So I suppose there's any way we could use that if they do go that when they get close enough to just bounce that entire area with an Orion-attuned sonic weapon to give them a little bit of a headache.
It sounds like a readied action to me.
You have to give away our next action.
Well, I'm not giving away to the Orions.
That'd be a way of hitting. I'd say that'd be a way of hitting them all at once, because isn't it? It's a two-parter, is it? First you break it through their own security encryption, then you fire it. But yeah, you could potentially use that to hit multiple rather than a single target. Definitely.
I was thinking, if we kind of bounce that through the network, because basically if we kind of resonate that through the many ships rather than just the ship-to-ship thing we normally use it, we could kind of create a kind of unusual kind of like repellent shield for what, not literally a shield that kind of like physically repel them, but basically an area where so like as they interact with the ships, try and get to them and make contact to steal whatever it is, they basically open themselves up. They seem to be
basically, if I'm understanding this right, you want to set up a localized kind of if they get within a certain distance of any ships in the convoy, it will trigger an attack by the sound weapon, basically.
I was thinking if they want the convoy ships, like she indicated,
they have to risk being knocked out.
Yeah, they're going to have to interact with them some way. So, like, you know, be that transporters or tractor beams or whatever, they're going to have to actually have their systems go for the freighter ships.
So that sounds to me
scrambled though.
Their comms have been very thoroughly scrambled, but that doesn't mean that you can't set up something to ride that same carrier wave that Nova has so expertly set up for you.
Good point. She's already opened the door.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking doing it through the freighters. Especially if the Orions work out we're using that to counter the scramble thing. If they try and then hack into that as well to kind of shut us down, they basically
open themselves up to an attack. Nice. Yeah. Sounds like to me you're going to need somebody on your crew to take an action now to represent you setting that up, and then you're probably going to need your communications officer to actually what's the word I'm looking for? Which is something I'm going to have to get printed on a t-shirt one of these days. Basically prepare the infiltration of their system. So let me bring Keshen in on the fun. There he be. So first things first, somebody needs to, who hasn't acted yet, needs to set up that addition to the cargo hauler communication network that you've just set up in order so that it can facilitate what you have just suggested. So, folks who haven't acted yet, Andrews, Keshen, Bertram, Mono, Claude Stevens, Bravo, Chief Engineer, Ori, Fazanan have not acted yet. So, any of those lot you think would be, I mean, Keshen's going to have to be the one to actually use the sonic weapon to infiltrate their system, so he's probably going to have to go after whoever it is that sets it up for him. So, Ori, Mono, Stevens, Bravo, hell, even Fazanan could have a, or the captain could have a jump in at this point to try something out. Who wants to try? It's an ingenious thought, I like it, so...
I was thinking I could, especially given I'm the one who's kind of been pushing for it, I'm going to try and argue with the DM and say, like, to assist using the psychologist focus to actually kind of predict, sort of like roughly the whole sort of Orion's going for the ships to lure them into the trap aspect of it.
There is that psychology aspect of it, but what you're doing at first is setting up the network to be able to resonate at a distance in order to... So that's going to need an engineer or a scientist by the sounds of it, which I'm not saying that the Dr. Bertram's not a scientist.
Yeah, it's not his area of expertise.
So, again, go on. Mono? Okay. Manu. Thank you, somebody picked that up. He has got subspace mechanics and sensor operations, which could help with this, I suppose. So Mono is essentially creating another advantage for you. So this is going to be another difficulty 2 task. This is trying something that hasn't been known to be tried before, so I'm gonna suggest... It's not his best, but if he goes for daring and science, he might be able to perform a miracle of science that these things weren't designed to do, so... Go for it, Mono. He's got assistant, but that won't help much here. When you assist a task using science or medicine, you can reroll d20. That suggests you need someone to assist him. Otherwise, it's just going to be Mono performing the action I just asked for at difficulty 2. So I am once again actually going to spend a threat to up the complication range. Because that's going to make it really interesting for a complication. Gareth, if you would.
Okay. As he's not got the sort of like great stature, is it okay if I use another momentum for this, guys?
Yeah, go.
Excellent.
We
Do it.
3
3
successes.
successes, 1 over and above what you needed. If you get a point of momentum back. Alright, so Mono has set up the snare. Now you've just got to put the trap mechanism into it. So let's assume that it's Keshen that goes next, because that's who has to do the hacking in. Hacking. Now. Ooh, let me think. Definitely encryption, decryption, but what are we going to do for control and science? Let's go control and science. Who hasn't rolled in a while and wants to roll as Keshen? I mean, Nova's already... Sean's already given us the brilliant communications scramble.
Yeah.
Most haven't gone yet, so Yan, that leaves you up to be
Yan and I.
Keshen and yourself, Webby, so...
Yeah, we'll all be rolling on
maneuver.
our turns anyway, so I'll have to let someone else go again.
Okay. Shawnee Sean. You can be Tufty.
Ready?
As Tufty is doing control and science, if I recall. And this is setting up the thing in order to get ready to infiltrate another system. So the difficulty for this is going to be... Now, ordinarily I'd have said 3, but because people have quite rightly pointed out that there has been a communications scramble affected by Nova, that's going to bring the difficulty down by 2 in order to affect 1. But increase the critical threat range. So, and look at that! Does anybody have a Legion of Honor they haven't used yet and want to use it?
Everyone's got Legion of Honor, it's just I don't want to use my second one.
I've got one and I'll use.
Okay. Alright then. So that was 2 successes. So basically Keshen has now got his finger on the trigger. It's set up the sound weapon so that it'll channel through that little aerial that you've made, that network, that closed network, so that anything that tries to get close will suffer an attack with an Orion-attuned sound invasion. Alright. I like it. So, who wants to go next with their stuff? We still haven't had the captain, the doc. Mono's been, hasn't he? We've had Mono. We've just had... what's he? Stevens hasn't gone, Bravo hasn't gone, Ori hasn't gone, we haven't had any helm maneuvers. We haven't actually shut down the main computer yet, if that's what you still want to do. Or do you want someone to try and actively go in and counteract the invasive computer code? Or there was also the trying to get on sensor records to see if there was a transmission from within or without that activated the invasion.
I don't think we care on whether it came from in or out. I think what we care about now is stopping it, because we know that there's something interfering with the computer, whether it's internal or external. If we can block the signal, it doesn't matter. So I'd say that Stevens would be the best one to get into the computer film.
Alright. Sounds good to me. So, what's Stevens going to... Oh, Stevens is all the way over there on the Mapui.
Oh, she's on the poo, is she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we get did Engineer Bravo going?
Engineer Bravo is still on the Navis.
There we go. Bravo, fix the computer.
Yay. Using Bravo instead. Gotcha.
Bravo, fix it. Fix it, fix it, fix it.
Webby, it's your idea. You may as well do it.
Team.
He does have the engineering team, yeah, so...
What do we want?
Let's see. You're going to be aggressively fighting a computer program in order to block it, so I'm going to go with... Now, he does have an advantage, quite right. Which will make this difficulty 1, so I am going to go with daring and engineering.
Daring and engineering and electric plasma systems.
Not really, this is a computer program he's fighting, so he doesn't really have any
Damage
foci for
control
this.
and repair. It's
This is-
damage control.
This is...
He's preventing damage to the computer system.
Trouble with Ori helping with this is he's on the Mapui.
I know, and he's a computer expertise, computer foci.
Yes. And Kirst, who's also got computer-related whatevers, has already had her turn gone. So, unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be on pure talent rather than any focuses.
I'm still hungry. I'm still hungry on the damage control. You know what?
He's
No
got...
problem. Too big to fix.
There you go. Use a value. Use a determination.
Use determination too high. Boosh.
Kaboosh. Not the greatest rolls, but still a success. A number of successes, one over and above what you needed, in my opinion. So you all have managed to successfully counteract the compromised systems advantage that they had over you. So that's that eliminated. Nicely done. Which leaves the rest of you to do whatever you need to do. So, with that in mind, who would like to go next? Because this does...
Shall I do some maneuvering?
I was about to say, this does suggest now that more typical combat maneuvers can now be undertaken.
Do
So-
we want to do offensive, defensive, or both?
That's the question.
Should we go for the both again?
Depends on which ones, because are you going towards the Klingons or the Orions?
Klingons.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's gonna be both, it's gonna cost us some momentum.
Well, you've got a
it's
full
fine.
pool, so...
All right, let's start with the defensive maneuvers.
So remember how to do those, I take it? Since this is your jam?
Visual details. Oh. So first is evasive action, which is daring con, difficulty 1.
Assisted by the ship's structure and con. So,
I shall use a determination on this one.
Mike, since you haven't really got Ori to use on this, why don't you be the Navis?
Actually, I won't use a determination on this one. I think I'm gonna need it on the second one.
From the structure and con from the Navis, please, and while you're there, can you take 1 point of power off of the Navis?
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll use a point of momentum though.
Alrighty.
Is Navis using 2 die?
Navis is using 1.
Okay.
It's Thazanan who's using 2. Okay, that's a good one from the Navis. And that's some exception. Okay, not as good as we usually get from Thazanan, but nevertheless, evasive is a difficulty of 1, which means you got it. Power requirement of 1. I forget, do you guys have anything where if there's a power requirement, then you can see if it doesn't cost as much. That was it. Whenever someone attempts a task with a power requirement, roll a challenge dice. Alright, basically roll a challenge dice then, please. Davis, you were the one who brought it up. Did you just close the character sheet? There we go. What was that? That was one effect. So, and when you succeed at a power management task, that's not power management, but whenever someone attempts to roll a challenge on an effect, that power requirement is reduced by 1, which means it costs none. There we are then. So the Navis thrums with power, but manages to allow you to create that evasive maneuver. Well done. Now you're going to spend momentum to do the attack pattern as well, aren't you?
Yes, I think we had 2 successes on the previous one, so we get our 1 momentum back against the difficulty 1.
Ah, yes, indeed.
So I'm just going to subtract 1 to get an additional task. Additional major action. So normally difficulty is 1 extra, but because of precise evasion, it's not. So it's just standard difficulty for attack, but not 2. And this is where I'm going to use my determination. It's also daring and con.
And Alex, if you could be the Navis for me, please. I am going to want weapons and con from the Navis. And this also has a power requirement of 1, so can I get Sean to roll me a challenge dice?
Oh, no, that was... there. And 1 dice.
Ooh, no effect, so it does still cost. That was a complication for Navis.
Like, spend 1 of you. Your Legion of Honor. Spend it.
I don't have Legion of Honor.
Oh, Thazanan does. Is that Thazanan's last Legion of Honor spent?
Yes.
Nevertheless, you can try and continue with your attack pattern. See if you get it. Well, if. Boy, do you. Alright, once again, Thazanan pulls off an incredible evasive and yet attack pattern at the same time. So let's just have the Navis move a wee bit closer as it performs these maneuvers. Should have cost 2 power to do, but only cost 1, thanks to the Chief Engineer giving it all she's got. Very nice. That was Thazanan's turn. So, whoever's left that wants to contribute to what's going on before Claude pushes the button, I suppose. So, does Andrews want to assist with something and therefore give Claude more to go with? Does Andrews want to create an advantage? A temporary advantage. Spiraling defensive attack pattern.
Which is it?
So, you know, a commanding officer can use command and something else to create a temporary advantage. And, of course, there's nobody left to do sensors, because Stevens and Ori are all on another ship. So, kite order of tactics, one permission, when you create an advantage, you actually create 2.
Why use determination to guarantee success?
So what I'll say is, usually when the commanding officer creates an advantage like this, it is a one-shot, because it happens only on your turn. But because you can create 2, you can essentially bank 1 to use later, or use them both.
Yeah, let's use survival at any cost determination.
So what kind of advantage is the captain creating? Something that makes the Navis harder to hit, that makes it easier for the Navis to hit, making it harder for the enemy to hit you. What do you want to do?
I think it makes it easier for the Navis to hit.
Easier to hit.
We want to play with them. You know, we want to take them apart. I want to let Claude have fun with it. I need to roll a challenge die as well. So I can...
Okay, I've doubled that up so that you've got a copy.
It does not come back.
Okay, so you've used your determination, it doesn't come back. Alright, so I suppose that now means we go on to Claude.
Have fun, Claude.
Now, the difficulty here being that you are quite far away, therefore you're not really... You can hit them with phasers, phaser array if you really want to, but it's harder because it's they're at range, so it's torpedo time, really.
Yeah, go on, Claude, have fun.
So, usually a torpedo is difficulty 3. Using an attack pattern, it's gone down to 2, but making the enemy easier to hit brings it down to 1. The ship also assists with this, with weapons and security. Who hasn't rolled in a little bit? Mike, you had your big day, your 6th episode. Let's have you be the Navis again to do the weapon system. I take it you are firing at the closest bird of prey?
Nah, we're firing at the... Well, no, we're not firing at the closest bird of prey. I was going to say the Pui, but that's not a bird of prey. Nah, we'll fire at the closest freighter, you know, stop the Orions from getting the cargo.
Alright.
Scorched earth.
The double bluff.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming, did you? Yeah.
And then because we were the only ship that survived, is that we go, yeah, the Orions blew them up.
The old
Sorry.
paranoia aspect.
Right, so what
Why
I'm
do
wanting...
I feel like my captain's targeting my head?
Got that itchy feeling once again that the captain doesn't like me. She may be able to kill me.
Hey, Vibers, think fast. See how your shields hold up to this.
Wait a minute,
Right.
we had shields?
I like the panic in his voice. We have shields! Right, so this is the last thing we're going to do for tonight's episode, so let's see how well they do. So this is going to be... What did I say? Mike, if you can be the Navis and give me 1 dice weapons and security from the Navis. And can I get Webby to give me control and security with, you know, shipboard weapon systems for Blort? Difficulty 1. Oh, and you're adding that. Good lord.
Yeah. I think so. We've got to prove to them that we're not to be messed with.
Roll them bones, folks.
So it was control and security, Zed, wasn't it?
Mike's
Yes,
back,
please.
pheromones restocked.
Mike, if you could give us the Navis,
Okay.
please. 1 dice.
What system?
So we want weapons and security, please.
Okay.
Oof. So that was 3 over what you needed. Those can all be piled into damage, and essentially it's a quantum torpedo, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So, roll quantum torpedo damage for me, please. Mike, since you're there on the Navis. And then give me extra... what was it? 3 extra dice?
Alright, damage.
Isn't it 5 extra because we reduced the difficulty to 1?
Yeah.
5 extra.
Oh, how do you do that?
So, when you're on the... if you can see the weapon systems, you've got quantum torpedoes. There is a Starfleet insignia badge next to it. When you hover over it, it turns into a dice. Press it. That's the one.
Alright, it did not turn into a dice. It's not turning into a dice for me.
Okay, I will do this then.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Don't know what was going on there, but we've all been having similar problems tonight. And it was an extra 5, you said?
Yep.
Ready. So that was... Ooh, I didn't do too well on the second one. 8, 9, 10 successes in total with 2 effects, which essentially is damage of 12. Take away their resistance of... that much leaves 9, which means their shields have completely gone and they've suffered 1 breach. Nice shot. Shields down in 1. But it's not quite dead yet. Okay, I'm going to pause us there because it's actually 9 minutes past 10. That took a while, but hey, combat usually does, and there are a lot of players on the board, as you can see. But we're going to have to come back to this at a later juncture, so folks around next week?
Should be.
Should be.
The 27th of February. So, thank you very much for tuning in, Suitable Substrate and Substrate. I can't even say your name right. Woo! Thank you for tuning in, everybody who tuned in, and yes, we'll see how badly the Navis messes up these bunch of Orion Klingon ingrates, if ingrates is even the proper word to use. And yeah, we'll have to tune in next week to see how well these guys do. This is interesting. So thank you very much for tuning in. We will see you next week, we hope. Barring any issues, that we'll be sure to let you know if we get any kind of delay or whatnot. In the meantime, thank you for everybody who has been watching either on stream or on YouTube. Suitable Substrate is sexily scuttling away now. That's going to be the new thing for this crew.
You're not supposed to seduce the audience.
And yes, thank you for everybody who tuned in. For those of you who are watching on YouTube and you enjoyed this, please feel free to give us a like. Also, if you want to find out when the next video drops, then make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are told when the next video drops. It has been a bit random lately, so apologies for that. But nevertheless...
to the algorithm.
Yes, indeed. All hail the algorithm.
All hail.
Nevertheless, thank you, everybody. Be sure to do like the Vulcans do, which in this case is to live long and prosper, and also to engage in infinite diversity in infinite combinations. Look after yourselves, treat each other with respect, and we will see you next time. Hailing frequencies are now closed.